I think they think we take this for granted. We don't at all. We small town kids. We don't take none of this for granted. Like all of this that we getting and all of that, we worked for this, and now we just taking it so gracefully that we make it look easy.
So when the lights is bright, how we gonna perform?
We gonna
especially opening at night. Not only opening at night, Dykeman. How we gonna?
That's what we thrive off of. We so used to it now. It's like it is what it is. We take it for what it is. It's regular to us now. I wouldn't want it no other way. I tell my friends, I tell people all the time, I am not big on being an underdog. I don't want to be an underdog. I want to be the big dog. Underdogs, you have a room for excuse when you lose. I don't want that. I want people laughing at us, high-fiving each other when we lose. I want people really excited when we lose because I love the way I act and the way we act when we win. I don't want it no other way. I don't.
What's good? It's your boy Neil.
JP.
And you're now tuning in with Southern Moves. Say I'm with the pound. Introduce yourselves.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Frederico, CEO.
It's your boy Leo.
Brandon, we here. Colin, we here.
Leaky Love, the liaison. Yeah, baby.
So before we talk about the pound itself and the organization, let's talk about y'all upbringing. So take me through like y'all trials and upbringings to the man y'all are today.
I'm from Greenburgh. You know what I mean? 914 Manhattan Ave to be exact. Greenburgh showed us unity. It showed us, it's a small town, so everybody come together. Everybody damn near family.
Exclamation voice is crazy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you turn around, everybody, somebody cousin or something like that, things like that. It's a beautiful place to grow up. I split it with the Bronx, too, grew up there, too. Throgs Neck Projects. That's where the toughness came from, more so. Like, there was shit in Greenburgh, too, but, the Bronx is the Bronx. You can't really escape that no matter where you at in the Bronx. As y'all should know.
Yeah, we do know.
But, yeah, that's me, though.
What's up?
So, I'm from Elster, New York. I would say the same thing. Family, small town. Grew up with a lot of guys, Malik and Kylan grew up together. I'm also a little sprinkle of the Bronx, too. Parkchester. So, got that gritty in me, too, with the Bronx.
Randy, talk to me.
You already know where I'm from the Berg. Shout out to the town.
Big Greenburgh.
Facts. So, feel me? Everybody in the Berg is family.
Yeah, just like everybody talking, I'm from Elmsford, White Plains area, but like everybody's saying, everybody knows everybody. I've known Lil, Fred, X, E. Oh, that's X.
He said his name. X's nickname.
Known everybody since we was young, and we came up, there's not that many people who was giving us, what we got today, so we had to get it, and
Moving together and all that, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Schools and
That's where it started.
sports too.
Absolutely. My name is Lee. Elmsford, New York. Definitely a lot of Greenburgh in me. My father, Hopeton White, he was the commissioner of the Theodore DeYoung Community Center. So that's where I got all my relationships from, with all these Greenburgh guys. I played with Brandon on Greenburgh Falcons when we was like 7 years old, and we've known each other ever since, been hooping together. I'm retired now. They got I left it to them. You feel me? I taught them almost everything.
Told them everything they know is crazy. I ain't even
I
gonna
just leave
front.
it to them now. You feel me? I like to be on the sideline, showing my support, but, pound, we here.
Hell yeah.
All right, so then how'd you guys form your relationship? Like, how did this come about? How did y'all form your relationship? Let's talk about that.
Go ahead, Lil. You can talk about you.
So like I said, we had Ferris. We did a team maybe 4 years ago. It was called the Ford. And I had all young guys straight out of high school. Then I had Kylan, I had Jason, Barrera, a few other guys, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. And then the following year, I was like, yo, Fred. Fred had the pound going on at the center. He was winning that. I'm like, yo, Fred, let's put something together on Ferris, bro. So then we come together, we put that together on Ferris. And then boom. It was up from there.
Word up. Listen, all I'm going to say is this. If me and Lil was to ever divide the team, we'll just see each other in the chip. That's all I'm going to say. We'll see each other. I feel like that's how deep the roster is. Like, we could literally, split it up and be like, yo, listen, Lil, if you take your dudes and I take my dudes, we going to meet up anyway. So, like, for us to be together, I feel like that's dangerous. And I feel like that's why we had the success that we have right now.
A lot of these guys we hoop with since we was growing up. Like, me and Kai been hooping each other since, what, 3rd grade? So, like, D Mitch, too. Like, D Mitch been with us since we was in 3rd grade, too. So, like, a lot of these hoopers that's pros now, we've been hooping with all our life. So, it's like that relationship. Like, I'm a rock with Lil and Fred. We go from there.
And I'm a little older than everybody. So, like, when I was probably, like, a senior, like 3 years.
How old though?
Oh, I'm 20. I'm about to be 29, man.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? I'm about to be 29, man. Listen, I know, man. My back hurt every day. You know what I'm saying? Knees hurting. You know what I'm saying? But, yo, like, it's to that point where if I was, like, a senior in high school, y'all was probably, like, what, 2012? What was y'all? Like,
I was a freshman.
Freshman?
I was a senior.
So, like, it was one of those things where it's like they was next up. It was after our group. So, like, that's how that bond came because, you know, I'm not going to sit here and just per se say that they looked up to us, but we were all around each other.
Yo, that's exactly what it was. We was looking up to Fred and them. You feel me? We was 4 years younger than them. They showed us how to, feel me, hoop for real, how to be competitive, how to play, you know, play together, play with that dog. That's where they got it from. I like when he's humble, but I don't like it.
So it's not often. It's not often. So, you know, y'all better take my humbleness, you know what I'm saying, when you can.
So, for us two, we met somewhat majority of y'all ex, Brandon, Fred. We met them from the center and all that type of stuff, and they brung in the pound events, all those basketball tournaments and all that type of stuff in the center. So shout out to the center. My question is this: which event? It could be the center. It could be everywhere. Which event kind of made y'all want to start this thing?
I think us winning the Center Summer League, the men's Summer League, I think that's when it became, okay, cool, like, this is the Pound, this is who they are. You know, people coming to the games and seeing the Pound on the scoreboard and stuff like that, okay, that's what this is. The event where I feel like things really, like, took off for our brand and our group was probably the skating party. When we had the skate party.
Skate party, what?
You know,
say skate party.
Huh?
What?
Because that's the event where we combined our name, our clout, mixed in with the female effect. You know, I feel personally, if you engage, you know, women into things, into your brand, it skyrockets. It takes off perfectly.
That makes sense.
Like, and I feel like the community aspect too, and then a good time without any violence or anything like that happening either. All of those things combined gave us not only the support system, but the belief system. People believed in us after that. Like anything we do at this point, we can have a golfing event, and I feel like people still come because it's us. We provide certain factors, and I think it stemmed from the skate party.
And not only that, it's like it's that family element because like everyone from basically from Greenberg, White Plains, and all that type of stuff, we know each other from either from going to school, going to the summer camp and all that type of stuff. Shout out to y'all. Even basketball games, football games, and all that type of stuff. We know them from fly in the wall. So my thing is this: it's a beautiful thing to actually have a community where everyone gets to be a part of this. Mm-hmm. And last year, when me and my shout out to Noel, and my G's. Me, Noel, Janelle, we saw like the Ferris game and all that type of stuff. It's like a beautiful like type energy because like you got Westchester people, you got people from New Road, you got people from Mount Vernon, Bronx, Brooklyn. They're all together in one. And I remember you said a comment back. Shout out to Meech. You said the scenery was beautiful. Mm-hmm. So did you picture that event? Do you think that event exceeded expectations, or do you think that you should?
I thought it exceeded for sure. I knew we was gonna have it jumping, but I didn't think it was gonna get like that. To the point where now, like, you know, we're fortunate to have people like media people like Chi-Chi, shout out Chi-Chi, shout out Sideline Media,
Shout out media.
Shout out off the bench. People like that, Jake shot it. People like that are from Westchester to do it for us. But now when you start to have New York City's sports media, summer league people come like Shay's Days, Dave's Joints. Now you stepping in a different stratosphere at that point. So I feel like that's what made it beautiful from a standpoint of social media to see it all. Yeah. As far as the team is concerned, because we got so many people from different areas, especially in Westchester, it brings all of those people behind our bench. So our bench looks crazy. Because you've never seen Mount Vernon and Newro side by side like that cheering for one team. That wasn't Mount Vernon and Newro. You've never seen Portchester Project people come in. You know, we had a player on our team from Portchester, Shamel. You've never seen that all together like that. And then you got Greenberg and Elmsford next to them, too. So all of those elements combined, I feel like that's what made it the way that it was.
It's almost like a family reunion.
For sure. And I think, like I said, like the skate party things, like, you know, community stuff and us just being who we are in the communities, I think that's what provides that. If we were other type of dudes, I think the belief wouldn't be there.
There's no substance.
Yeah, because there might be some dudes that really might not like me that's around us.
Very true.
But they like Lil. They like Leaky. They like Colin. They like Brandon. Facts. So off the strength of them, they like Meech. They'll be around us. And they'll settle down and they'll tone it down.
So now, I want to take it all the way back. So now, obviously, the Pound is an organization, basketball organization to be exact. So who put the ball in all of your hands? Because we got to talk about that. This all revolves around the ball, orange ball. So who put the ball in all of your hands?
What do you mean, like when it comes to coaching?
Not even just coaching, but just
family, anything.
Family.
Anybody. Who's
it could be just.
I would say my pops. My pops, my family. I have a lot of family members that D1, NBA. So I got Kendrick Gray, who's my cousin. He's overseas right now. I got Alan Ray, who played at Villanova, graduated there, leading scorer. Played for Celtics for a little bit. Just finished overseas like 2 years ago. I got their sister who played at Rutgers. So I've been around a lot of basketball all my life since I was like 3. So like, yeah, that's what got me started with the hoop. I've been hooping since I was 3.
B, what about you?
I would say Coach Benjamin Carter.
Shout out Ben.
Shout out to Ben. Shout out to he put the ball in my hand. Shout out to the center. I ain't gonna lie. They really like had a big influence on me growing up. Coach Boston too. May rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Mm-hmm. He was a big part of me, like my whole basketball life. He was on me every day, man. I used to love coming back home from college and just talking to him. And he was mad, like he was just proud of me. So it was amazing, man.
For me, it's my pops. It's simple. You know, he put the ball in the crib when I was a baby. As soon as I was born, basketball was in the crib. You know, I started playing. You know, I went to Kips Bay at 5 years old to play with 6 and 7 year olds. He took an interest in me from the jump. You know, he was coaching me all the way up until high school, coaching AAU teams, and then as I'm getting older and getting better, he's making sure that sending emails to college coaches, taking me on all the visits that I had to go to. So not even just from being a kid, like he kept that interest in me and kept me going all the way to where I am today. So, and he played ball himself. He was tough himself. So for him, I get everything I did basketball related all started from him, and he know that too.
For me, it was the same thing Brandon said. Like Coach Boston, Benji, like those were the ones that like instilled, like kept it going. But who instilled it with me? I want to shout out my sister, my older sister Asha. She was a ball player first, so I just remember just looking up to her, watching her go play AAU, like watching her in high school, watching her win a championship in high school. So all that was like, that was like the going like that was D1 to me. Like watching my sister go do her thing at Briarcliff and stuff. So growing up, I just wanted to be like her. Like I remember we used to play one-on-one in the hallway and use the ceiling as a hoop. She used to bust my ass, call travel and all that. Mm-hmm. I used to be so frustrated, but it made me want to get better. So that's what my dad ended up being the commissioner, like blessed in life that my dad is the commissioner of the community center. Now I get to meet Coach Benji, Coach Boston, And those are the ones who were teaching me the game. And there's no better person to learn it from than those two, honestly. So I was pretty good in high school. Like, I did my thing. Like, I wasn't as good as these guys at all, but I did my thing. So I don't got no regrets when it comes to the bat. I knew, like, eventually it would end, and I would be more of, like, the coach influence type of guy. And I just want to take that role full storm and just put my head down and do it. Because, like, I love these boys right here. Like, these are my guys. So if it wasn't for them, like, if it wasn't these guys, it wasn't happening with me. You feel me? It wasn't happening.
For me, I'll say it's my stepfather, Mo Black. He's a New York City street ball legend. Being at Rucker and all of that when I was younger, like, I've seen him score. He held the record at West Fork for years. He had 64. Like, I've seen all of that, and I think he was the one that made me say, well, damn, like, how do I get to that level of being good at basketball? And then my sisters, you know, my older sisters, Toya and Zoe, they were the first ones to introduce me to what AAU looked like. You know, I was a little kid with my mom, you know, traveling around with them. My sister Zoe played with Epiphany Prince. Like, that was the first, like, besides my sister's first girl that I said was, yo, she's elite. Like, I've never seen a girl play like that before.
She's tough.
No, she
And,
is tough.
you know, that was back when, you know, she had just scored like 100-something points in high school. So, like, she was like, that was also the first time I seen superstar favoritism. You know, I'm going to my sister Zoe's practice, and everyone's practicing, running suicides, running on. She's on the bleachers like this, watching them practice. She don't got to move a muscle. So, like, little things like that, I picked up on that early. But my pops he was the one. You know, like, seeing him play at Rucker for Fat Joe and them, I think that was the first time I seen, you know, what some people might call the hood fame, like, you know, being a hood star and all of that. Like, you know, Fat Joe calling our house and all of that, looking for him. Like, I think that's when I started turning it up a little bit, because my actual father was in the NFL. So, like, I ain't played football at all. You know what I'm saying? So I just took everything from my step-pops.
So take me through the, all right, so now let's go back. Let's bring it back, right? So take me through that exact moment, all right? You're walking in the Rucker, you see Fat Joe, Terror Squad, all of them, right? And you see the atmosphere. Like, what did that bring to you? And then putting that to basketball, like basketball court, not only the basketball court, but having a basketball mind itself.
I think when Stephon Marbury came, when I saw Stephon Marbury the first time, like, my mom, what they used to do to my mom was, like, she would sit on the end of the bench, and then they would have just security around her, and Stephon Marbury and them would just have security give her all the NBA players the jewelry. Like, y'all hold it, not because, you know, like, some people, let's just say if I want to rob somebody, I would assume, oh, it's somebody from Coney Island, somebody in Stephon Marbury's camp. They probably got all the money and all the jewelry Steph got. I wouldn't think the lady. So I'm assuming that's why they did that. But once I saw that, and I'm just looking at the jewelry, I'm like, shit. And then I saw the Terror Squad chain. The Terror Squad chain to me was like, when I said, yo, you play ball and you get that? Yeah. That's crazy. Like, that was the first time. I was like, yeah, this shit is wild. And, you know, Fat Joe, I attribute the way I move around to watching how he moved around back then.
He's very out in the open.
He's
talking his shit.
Like, he got to a level of comfortability and arrogance to where he would pull up to Rucker in the white Escalade with the Terror Squad chains on the mirrors on the outside.
I remember that.
And them shits would just dangle and nobody would touch them shits. He'll park his car on the curb and nobody would touch them shits. And, like, that's when I didn't understand it that much then, how hard that was. But, like, when I got older and I realized, like, yo, this nigga dad used to do that, I'm like, I'm moving like that.
So were you there around that time?
That's what it is.
So were you there around that time when this is when I think Jay had his team.
Yeah, I cried like a baby. I cried like a baby.
Jay had his team.
I'll never forget that day.
And the blackout happened.
Yes.
So, all right, because I'm young. I'm 2002 baby. So you was there around that time. I heard stories about that.
I was living in the Bronx at that time, in the project. I wasn't living in Greenberg at that time. I was living in Throsneck at that time. So when the blackout happened, me and my homies, we were stealing from store types of shit. We was wilding out. It was so dark in the staircase, I used to have to walk down the stairs, up and down the stairs with my Rottweiler, because getting robbed and all of that. So, like, and I'm probably like 8, 9, something like that. But when we went to go see the Terror Squad S. Carter game, like my pops, we got to skip the line. That shit was like, that shit felt like 20 blocks down. Like, from Greenberg to damn near the county center. Like, that's how crazy that was. So when they said, we waited about 2 to 3 hours, and then when they said, yo, it's not going to happen. I remember that's exactly what they said. I'm like, it's not going to happen. Terror Squad wins. I cried like a baby because I just wanted to see Jay-Z and LeBron. That's it.
Bron was about to pull up.
Bron was there.
Bron was right there.
He was on the bus. Him, Sebastian Telfair, and them, they was on the bus.
Shaq was there.
Shaq was there. Jamal
Crawford.
Crawford and them. Jamal Crawford and Eddie Curry got shipped back to Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Because the training camps was about to start. So the NBA teams was like, some of them was like, nah, we just too late. We not trying to chance injury, da-da-da-da-da. But, you know, Shaq and them, Shaq fresh off a three-peat. He don't give a fuck. That nigga's playing. And then he claimed he heard Terror Squad was getting Yao Ming. So, like, Melo was walking around the court.
walking around
he was walking around the court and shit. But I didn't see none of that, honestly. I just remember LeBron is on that bus right there, and he's not getting off the bus. What is he doing?
And if he gets off that bus, the crowd.
I would have. I would have passed out. Like,
LeBron! He dropped.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then me at 9, like, I probably would have jumped over the barricade. And Jay-Z too, word. And they ain't get off the bus. Jay-Z wasn't even there. He was on vacation with Beyonce.
Yeah.
So all that shit, I ain't gonna lie, it pissed me off. I think that was one of my biggest times I cried. Like, you know, it's my grandmother passing away. That I ain't gonna lie.
Bro, them New York games, bro, be sick back then. There used to be like people from the buildings, the project.
Yeah, in the polo grounds on top of the building.
on top of the building.
They're looking down from the sky view, and after that, there's people that's like hanging from the bars and all that type of stuff.
You got people jumping over the turnstiles at the train station just
Right
so that they
across
can
from
look from the platform. Like, so if anyone asks, well, you know, where my influence come from as far as doing the certain antics and the shit that I do, besides it just being me and myself, that's where it stems from. From that.
That's respect.
So now, right? Now I'm going to bring this to all of you guys, right? So who was that one player? So now we're going to talk about basketball. Who was that one player or that one coach that gave you work? I'm going to make it a coach player that gave you work. Name me 3, actually.
You want me to start it off?
1 to 3. Start it off. I'm going to go from left to right. I had to get this shit popping.
Oh, smoke.
And I need your response.
If whoever got an answer, you can just blurt it out. If you got it already, just blurt it out. That's a tough one. I got to think a little bit. But I think
I know
I got my answers.
Oh yeah, let me hear that.
It's so what you want 3 people?
You give me 1 to 3.
1? I'm gonna shake the room with this one. I'm not gonna hold you. Pierre, Liz.
Shout out Pierre from Greenberg.
Yeah.
Shout out.
I was the one that had to guard Pierre all the time. So, feel me? A lot. It's a tough cover, bro. Like, that's a tough cover, bro. I had to me and Brandon, we played against each other in a championship in high school. Like, Brandon got a championship from me, so I really don't like him for that. But Pierre, I will not hold nobody when it comes to point guards. And, like, I was guarding point guards. A lot of people, they think they play point guard, but they don't guard point guards. I was a point guard that guarded point guards. Pierre was one of those. So I want to shout out Pierre. That's a fact. I ain't never said that before either. Y'all get that exclusive. You would have never heard that come out my mouth while I was playing. While I was playing, I would have never, ever came out of my mouth. But, yeah, shout out Pierre for a fact.
Colin, I want to hear this.
Man, as a youngin', I'm gonna give y'all a name. Jerron Love. Bro, so when he was like young, like we talking like 10 years old, he was him like around the towns, and I still remember me like, you know, because I've always been quiet my whole life, and the crowd always getting behind like this one 10-year-old, and he was that one 10-year-old where there was a couple times where I didn't even want to meet him at half court. You know, you gotta come down to me at the 3-point line and then get to it. So as a youngin', I gotta give it to him because he he had it. He had it all when he was younger. Now I don't even know what he's doing.
Yeah, you waiting at the 3-point line.
Jerron Love was a phenom back then. He was on.
That was what 10 you said.
He was a phenom.
He wasn't even allowed to be at the.
He was on the news, all of that as a kid, like as a kid phenom.
But then, I mean, now,
What about high school and all of that too?
high school, Ty Jerome is a
Todd Jerome, yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, he got a stat too.
and I've been guarding him since I was 8 years old because we played AAU together. We played Riverside, and he all of a sudden, got dumped tall out of nowhere, bro. Like we had broke up when we was like 12, and next time I seen him for real was probably high school, and he was like 5'8" when we broke up, and then next time I saw him, he was 6'5".
Jesus.
And he's a tough cover because of his pace and his IQ, and he come off, he keeping you on his shoulder, and he's taller than you, he's shooting over you. He a tough cover. Playing Tyreek Evans one-on-one. That's behind the scenes, and nobody really seen that.
And this is recent.
This is recent.
Like a few months ago.
I just played with him. He was. I just played with him in Puerto Rico.
Let that be known.
You full of shit. This nigga full of shit.
We had one day in the ones where he was giving it to me. I'm giving me moves I ain't seen before because this the rookie.
Pause. That was crazy.
We're gonna cut that out.
He hitting me with basketball combos that I ain't really seen because he's a shooting guard too. He's like 6'6", so he's
But Tyreek,
He got a handle like crazy.
So I'm that's all the names you're gonna get out of me. It sounds like I've been getting my ass bust for my whole life, but
I seen Todd.
You guarded a lot of tough ones.
Yes, indeed.
yeah.
a lot of
That Catholic league was no joke back then, 2015. You gotta understand who was in that league.
That, what's it called? Who from Christ the King?
Rolly Alkins.
Rolly Alkins. Oh my God.
Come on, bro. This league is crazy.
Dean Carrington, Mike Williams,
Mike Williams was a
Matt
dog.
Bryan, Tom Cap, Ty. Who else? You had
Shit.
I don't think it'll ever be.
Rolly Alkins
what
was
year?
that nigga.
I was 2015. I stepped.
2015.
I played Rolly on
okay.
my senior day, bro. Everybody showed up.
I was there.
Yeah, bro. Rolly and Jose and
Rolly.
We fake got him started. Shout out Mark. DeMarcus, he fake got him started. Tyron Miller threw it on him low key a little bit. The crowd said the tongue. Threw a oop to him. Tyron banged it. And Mark was like, on your head, Riley. And Riley
We was going crazy in that crowd.
Started going crazy. He came down one. He came down one play. He came down one play, pulled from half. Looked at us. He was wild.
Looked right at us.
from half is crazy.
That's just crazy. I'm not gonna lie. That's disrespectful.
Kyle, was he not wilding?
Rolly was LeBron.
Yo, yeah, back then he was that
He
nigga though.
was LeBron, bro.
I don't think a lot of people know though.
The first time I saw Rolly Alkins, he was a junior in high school, right? First time he came. Shout out the center, bro. If it wasn't for the center, bro, I would not know any of this. But yeah, he's in the center. He got to guard Isaiah Whitehead.
Yo, and Isaiah, called him
that
the Cyclone.
Isaiah Whitehead was the
Isaiah
one.
Whitehead was that
He was
nigga.
the one. You
Shout
feel me?
out Isaiah Whitehead.
Shout
too.
out
That's
Isaiah
fair.
Whitehead, bro. He was the one. So I'm seeing this junior guarding Isaiah Whitehead. I know Isaiah Whitehead. I don't know this junior. By the end of the game, I knew the junior, his last name, where he lived, who his mama was, who his daddy was, who his older brothers was. I knew
And
everything
we
about
not talking.
Rolly
We
Alkins.
talking about Isaiah Whitehead, Mr. Basketball,
Yes.
McDonald's
Yes.
All-American,
Yes.
pull up.
He was the first one I seen shooting the ball like that. Like in high school, coming over half court, you're shooting the shit from the volleyball line. We wasn't like 2015 was not 2016, 2017. Like the Steph Curry jump, it was I feel like 2015 was the year that it first started happening. Yeah. But not everyone was bought into
Everything
it.
by then, everybody was going to that rack.
Yeah,
Everybody
you was still
like,
trying
for the
to
most
clap
part,
on somebody.
You was trying
back
to dunk
then.
on
Hell
someone,
yeah.
clap on someone. That's still the hoop mixtape Baller's Life era. So like, you wasn't making hoop mixtape Baller's Life off just shooting threes. You had to punch it on somebody, like
Or
every
somebody
game.
else.
Like so.
Ikins was that.
He was the
I ain't even gonna lie. You know,
Shout out Catholic
Listen,
League.
man.
Now, once again, shout out to Isaiah Whitehead.
Nah.
One one time.
Y'all ducking too, so I'm gonna let him go, but y'all ducking.
But
Y'all all
one
ducking.
time,
I got.
I'm gonna let P go.
one time, I went to Dykeman. Yo, he went to the right wing, right? He did like a fake like hesitation dribble, right? And after that, he drive to the baseline, did a spin move. Crowd went crazy. I was like, damn. And then somebody nicknamed his nickname was Cyclone because like he lived in Brooklyn, obviously. Bruh. And after that, seen him in the Elite 24, he did the same move again. The spin move. I'm like, damn.
No, Whitehead was tough. When I played in CYP, Whitehead was in there. He was young though at that time. We like seniors. He's probably like freshman, sophomore, or something like that. Yeah, Whitehead was tough. We beat him, but he was tough. He was tough. I was like, yo.
We beat him, but
Who y'all had on y'all CYP team?
On
Yeah,
my
a couple
CYP
people.
team, I was with Rodney Abrams. It was
Was Dink on that team?
no.
Josh?
Nah, Josh James played for Frenzy. Who was on
okay.
Chris Abeka was the best big man in the city. He went to St. John's, led NCAA in blocks. Him, Jalen Jenkins from Cardinal Hayes. All the Hayes kids was on our team too. Jarrell Marshall from Mount Vernon. We had a couple of people. I can't remember. You know what's crazy? You remember Nazir Williams? I mean Nazir from Tyler Wilson and them. From where they went to Hayes?
Tyler Wilson was the
Tyler Wilson went to Hayes. He was a little he's before you, like 2 years. He's like Josh in them age. But yeah, I was undersized though, so like I'm like a 6'4" big, so I had to guard wings. So in CYP,
And tell him the lineup of CYP.
nah, CYP
It's
they had me
bad
guarded.
heads.
They had me guarding Maurice Harkless in CYP, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. They flew in too. They flew on Hassan Whiteside, Team Frenzy. Flew on Hassan Whiteside. We couldn't get nothing off. Like my floaters, nothing was. He was boom, 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 punching everything, and it's a small ass gym already to begin with. So like,
Real intimate.
you got to get straight to it. One pump fake, everybody's in the paint by then. Like it was crazy. We won that shit, but like it was crazy. It was crazy. Like
That league is so underrated too. The players that they had.
yeah, CYP Kyrie Irving lost the first round my freshman year.
And y'all won.
Yeah, we won the second in the bracket. On the other side, we beat Gauchos. Kyrie played for New Jersey Roadrunners. They lost the first round.
Yeah.
He's number one point guard in the country. He's losing the first round in CYP.
That
Charlie
made
Villanueva, 2003, he broke the rim, shattered the backboard, all that shit. Like he was playing with Luau Deng and J.R. Smith and them. Like that's crazy. Like that. Like look at the names, and this is in Westchester and Portchester. Like this is crazy. Like you played the CYP too with Frenzy, right?
I played twice.
Who you had? Like Jordan Tucker and them, right?
We had Elijah Hughes.
Elijah Hughes had a
Ryan,
strap.
Amadou
Diallo?
Diallo. Mamadou.
Shout out homie.
You played too, right?
Diallo.
You was on the city, right? No, what team you played for?
I think I was on the city.
With Mike Williams and all of them, right?
Mike Williams. Yeah.
Eric and all of them.
I don't think Eric played.
Yeah, Mike Williams and them.
This dude named Eli played. He went to Lincoln. I forgot his.
Oh, that's my
Eli
cousin.
Davis?
Yeah,
that's my cousin.
Shout out Eli.
Him and Whitehead was going at it.
Yeah, shout out Eli.
Small world.
Nah, bro. Like that's how.
No, but I think on a national scale, like, all right, so boom, on a local scale, when I was a kid, Dink.
Dink is tough though.
Me and
A
Dink
lot of
used
these
to,
don't know
like-
about
Yo, me and Dink, we used to go at it when we was kids.
Hit you with that move.
Like, Dink is just no homo, pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's long. You know what I'm saying? He's no homo. That was crazy. So, like, once Dink hit you with a hop step or whatever, and he's by the basket, I'm not a high jumping dude. You know what I'm saying? So he's shooting over me every time. So I got to, like, when he's walking to the post, I got to, like, you know, be a bruiser and make sure he don't get it and
aggressive
shit
with him.
like that. Yeah, like, I would have to do that. And he couldn't guard me back neither, though. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Dink, though. Shout out Dink, though. And then, like, as a youngin', like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Kyle Anderson. Like I said, I was undersized. A lot of my bigs was 6'9" and shit. Like
6'9", 6'10".
So, like, I had to, like, whenever he would come off, he would always try to use me as the pick. He would always call for a pick all the time, just switch off so I could switch off and guard him all the time. And he's slow, but
He could get
he
by.
get there. I don't know. He get there though. But like, yeah, Jabari Parker's probably
Ooh.
Jabari Parker and Jaleel Okafor was like when I called. I think I called somebody. I called my best friend and said, "Yo, I don't know, bro. I don't think this shit ain't clicking for me." These two niggas, yo, and they're a year like Jabari's a year younger than me. Jaleel Okafor was 2 years younger than me, and I was like, "Yo."
And this is when he was
He was number one.
Number one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Jaleel Okafor.
Jaleel was number one too in his
Then he
class.
went to Kansas?
No. He went
Jaleel went to they both went to Duke.
They both
Oh,
one
shit.
year after
Never
another.
mind.
And I was like, yo, this shit ain't clicking. It ain't clicking.
This is when you talking about a healthy Jabari Parker.
Yeah, this was when
healthy
he was a
Jaleel
phenom.
Okafor.
This is when he was fresh off the Sports Illustrated cover, and they said, yo, can Jabari Parker be the next LeBron James? Fresh off that.
I hate it when they always make it that headline. Like,
Yeah,
don't
but
do
you
that.
know, listen, you know, when you a high school phenom, that's the first person. He's the ceiling. LeBron is the ceiling. You know, so like they got to go there at that point. But how many people does it work out for?
And but we'll get nobody.
You know, yeah, but you know, that's another topic.
He's ducking.
Yeah,
I
big
need
jokes.
it. Yeah. Y'all both little ducking too.
Who bust your ass? Nigga, that's the question.
Who you still you like to strap your boots?
I would say in high school, Eric Pascal, he gave us 30. That was a tough game. I ain't gonna lie, that was a tough game. He dominated that game. I ain't gonna lie. We lost by probably like 20, I think. But I had 20 myself, so. When it comes to like trying to get a bucket, who locks me up, like or who has like the best defensive plan against me, I think Pierre. PB, I ain't gonna lie. I played with P for mad long, so like he knows like my tendencies and all that, what I can't do and stuff like that. But like he got, it's hard to get a bucket on him.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. He's strong. He's quick. His lateral movement is quick.
He's very sneaky with the shit he do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very sneaky.
He got
just the little things.
Yeah, you a sneaky motherfucker. I'm telling you, sneaky.
P will have you on him. You have P on your hip. He'll hold your whole forearm. Like nigga, where you going?
And people forget how strong he is though.
He'll grab your forearm
on
he
the
get
low.
a steal, right? He get a steal off that. Ref don't call nothing. He get a steal layup. Coach spazzing on you.
But people forget how strong. Like he's strong for his. He's strong.
He like that. Pierre was like that. Absolutely.
I heard stories that he was going at it with Ross, P,
Jamel.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie. I gotta give it to Jamil too. Jamil is tough. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna tell y'all a little story. One time we played 1-on-1 and I ain't gonna lie, he cooked me. I don't even think I scored. Like he cooked me. Like that's when I knew. Oh yeah, Mills the number one option right now. I ain't gonna lie, cause he killed me in high school. I hate him. I ain't gonna lie. I hated that.
You couldn't
I need
stand
the ones. I need the ones still. Like
I'm
to
weak.
this day. Like,
Get back.
Mills, he was a dog.
Lil.
I got two as a young one. I would say so. Like I said, I was in the Bronx a lot, so I would say Jaquan McKinley. Remember him?
Mm-hmm. From St. Ray's.
From St. Ray's. As a young one, we used to go at it everywhere. UDC, Nike Swish, wherever it was at. You know what I'm saying? And then I also, as a young one, going to Marcon with this guy over here, we was the best two hoopers in the school. So like, me and him was with each other every day. So our one-on-one battles was always something.
Talking about Colin, right?
Yeah, me and Kyle one-on-one battles was always something. We always kept that series going, no matter what it was. Little hoop, big hoop. So me and Kyle used to battle all the time.
You talking one-on-one battles? You can talk about me and Ab. I ain't gonna lie, me and Ab can't play one-on-one.
Why you say that?
It's too competitive, man. He a dog and I'm a dog, and like when we going at it, bro, we start to scrap. I ain't gonna lie. We get to like.
So give me one story.
Like a fighting point. Like I remember one time we was playing one-on-one at in the hills. We was playing one-on-one.
Travis?
Yeah, Travis Park. So we was playing one-on-one. The old heads was talking mess, and I was going at Dulai, and then we was like, yo, forget this. Let's play one-on-one. We was playing one-on-one. Yo, I probably scored 1 point. He scored 1 point, and then we just started like grabbing each other, throwing each other to the floor, like about to fight. Like we just too competitive. Like, and like I ain't gonna lie, he instilled that dog in me because I always try to work harder to be better than the people I was around because they was working hard too and they was getting nice. So they really brought that.
Speaking of working hard, shout out Pierre too, and Brandon, right? the older guys that was on Williams, they used to have work. He used to have a workout regimen on how to jump higher and all of that shit to dunk on his wall when I used to come to their crib. And we used to be in the man, take that off, man. You ain't being niggas is not dunking. Y'all not doing none of that shit. Out of here. Y'all niggas doing all toe raises and jumping on shit, all type of fuck that shit. 2-3 years later, we was like, woo, shit. Maybe we should have been doing it with them.
You had up Pierre too.
Pierre, we was just
He
at
5'9".
Pierre threw the shit off the backboard in the street clothes.
He got banned.
I said, he's tripping.
Shit, I'll give y'all another one.
Man.
Another shit. As high school, I would say when I didn't play them in high school, like in a regular season game, but when I seen them, like him, Dulai, P, it was always like, yo, I'm here to hoop tonight.
You have to.
Win or lose, I'm going to kill them, regardless whether I win or lose. So it was always when I had to get up when I see them.
Oh, no, because Lil was talking right now.
Yeah.
When I was on my farewell tour, right? When I knew it was like really over.
I know what he's gonna talk about.
Lil, what this nigga Lil did to me in the center, I was like, oh nah, yeah, this is it. This is what it is. This Lil was I'm like, what the fuck
You got going on?
Because that was my first time. Like I've always known Lil, seen Lil, but that was my first time ever like matching up with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I guess at that point, we both kind of on our farewell tour. It's like only y'all can guard each other. Y'all can't guard no one else. So niggas made us guard them, and the niggas forgetting. I'm telling these, he's still a guard at heart. I'm still a big at heart. Like,
Lil was a point guard.
this nigga was a point guard. So the nigga, he's the shit. I'm like, nah, bro, go crazy right now. I had to start putting it in the post. It was killing me. Going crazy.
And you went out of breath. You like,
no, bro, I was tired. All that shit. I said, yeah, this is it, man.
It's
We
crazy.
get the coaching.
Full circle, like I've been watching like the MSG varsity tapes, right? All the rivalries,
old school.
all the high school rivalries, right? White Plains, Woodlands, Valhalla versus Briarcliff, Edgemont,
Briarcliff,
Woodlands, Dobbs, Ferry.
New Road, like
Mount
Roll
Vernon.
White,
bro.
Vernon.
So the latest game was when y'all was in high school.
Shit.
Hamilton,
Woodlands.
Yeah.
Now, we was-
At
it was
Woodlands.
That was jumping.
That was Chris Green and them, I think, senior year. Chris Green, shout out Chris
That's
Green.
the first time that happened in a minute, though.
Yeah,
They
that
used
was
to
at
not be able to
Woodlands.
have that game.
That was that one. That's when Cam came and burnt Noe's head off.
That the banter is crazy.
Shout out
but
Noe, man.
we came to y'all shit. White
for sure.
No, we went to y'all shit. Don't forget that. We were there.
Shout out to Sean. Sean went
Crazy. He had to get upset.
When?
But then the following year, we played y'all Croton 50 ball. So it doesn't even matter. Shout out to J.O.
Listen. Woodlands is having some trying times, right? They're in a rebuild right now.
Shout out Woodlands.
like-
that was an underrated basketball program. They didn't get the
Once we
respect.
left, that shit
They
went.
didn't get the respect it deserved. Wow, guys like Fred, even before Fred, like
Yeah.
what was his name again?
Murphy, Coach Murphy.
Coach Murphy did for that program.
He was there for about 6 years, won 3 chips.
Yeah, that was an underrated run.
And during those times, I'm gonna probably say the best shooters around that time for Woodlands was definitely B, Ross,
That's it. You already know.
and Jamil.
Nah, Ross is slept on.
Ross is the biggest X
How
factor
did I
I've ever
not
seen.
bring up Ross?
Ross was slept on.
No. You whack. You whack.
I play Ross
You're whack.
personally.
He's whack.
Ross was slept on.
Ain't y'all family?
Yeah, he's whack. Wait, the camera, yo, you whack. Nigga, you whack. Nigga, you whack.
But the thing about their team, bro, like, me and Kyle played with them with Frenzy. That same team. B, P, Ross. I mean, B wasn't really around, but like Ross, P, Dulai. We used to have battles with Dulai all the time,
Bro.
When we went to Mount Carmel.
I ain't gonna lie, Abdullah was one of the best
Guards.
true point guards growing up in all of 914.
His underrated skills, IQ.
Abdullah, bro, like tough cover. Abdullah, he wasn't really gonna like go get you buck. I mean, there was a time when he was doing that, like 7th, 8th grade. We seen him with Mount Carmel when he was with, I think, with St. Anthony. Right?
So, like,
he was like that, but his IQ and he always looking to pass and he never turned the ball over. I was always looking at Abdullah like, yo, bro, like if there's somebody who gonna teach like a point guard school, it's gonna be him. And he had it figured out as a young and like. It take people time. It take people time to figure out that point guard position.
And that's what
he had to figure it out, bro.
My like being a point guard in college, I would call Abdullah like, yo, they want me to do this, yo, bro. How am I supposed to do that? And he would put me on like how to set up the pick and roll and put up some people in the corner and just space out the floor so I can have a nice pick and roll and what to look for. If this guy does this, like he used to put me on a lot, so I learned a lot.
I ain't gonna hold you about Abdullah. Abdullah was one of the first people I scored. I seen play a game. You would say he was the best player on the floor, but he didn't even score. Yeah. He didn't score a single point.
Yeah, it's the IQ, bro.
Lead
It's
a
the
game
IQ.
Like 2 shots.
He's the reason why they won, and it had nothing to do with him.
And don't score nothing.
But you will look at it, he's the reason why
When
they
we in college
won.
and middle school, we used to have get up for some matchups. We used to talk about that. Right? We had to get up against. I don't know if y'all know Nate Estes, but he was more of a baseball guy when we were in high school.
Oh, that's my friend Jaden. That's Jaden's eye. Okay.
But him and Dula used to go crazy at St. Anthony's. Me and Kai used to have to go against that. It was
really like a 2-on-2
when we was in 3rd grade. We used to play a kid named Jack Daly. That went to he graduated from Eastchester.
Brandon knows him well.
Me and Kai used to play him in 3rd grade. It was me, Kai, D. Mitch, a few other people, bro. Could not beat Jack Daly.
He beat all of us.
Could not beat Jack Daly.
We put a triangle
Could not
in
beat
two,
Jack
put two
Daly.
people on Jack Daly, and he still beat us.
Could not beat Jack Daly.
Bro, Jack Daly.
We thought Jack Daly was
Jack
going to
Daly,
lead.
3rd grade, was the best player in the country.
Jack Daly, 3rd grade, high school, college. Jack Daly is tough. He's been tough through all his life. Everywhere he went, he's getting a triple-double. He got a triple-double in high school, and in college, he was getting triple-doubles. Jack Daly is tough.
We had a triangle and 2 and put both of them,
them.
both 2 on Jack. He still figured it out.
Can't remember the name.
Nah, we thought Jack Daly was going to the league off 3rd grade, bro.
He was tough.
3rd grade, bro. We thought Jack Daly was going to the league.
Middlebury? I don't know.
Yo, he used to go crazy.
You said 3rd grade. He was the best player. He was the best player in the nation.
But
3rd grade.
But
when you watch him though, you don't think it like you wouldn't even.
He
don't even
didn't know
look
6'6",
like
but best player in 3rd grade.
Even in high
On the
school.
court, you wouldn't even know. Like, that's 30, 10, and 10 right there.
Word, yo, I used to watch
was that-
Westchester and be like, who's the white boy that he's scoring, but like he's really not all that.
We gotta put that to rest. That white people, I know
they
a lot of white niggas that
They
go
go
hoop.
play.
They go trust.
Stop! I tell you, stop doing that. Stop doing that.
We got a white boy, bro. H. Shout out H, man. You know what I'm saying?
Harrison Deegan, Putnam
Harrison,
Valley.
bro.
You know, he's the one.
My boy Tommy Egan. That's what I'm
So now I have this question, right? This is for everyone, right? So now, mainly both of you guys too as well, and you as well because you played in the Catholic League, but obviously being leaguey, y'all played obviously in Westchester, and not only in Westchester, but you played in certain circuits in the Bronx and Harlem, others to be exact, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the competition level like between playing in the city and then playing in Westchester? And why do you think Westchester is slept on?
During my time, like I said, there's a gap between us in this. Though it seems small, like there was a lot of turning and pivotal moments within that gap. My time frame, we was running through in Westchester. Like when we played for Boston and them, whether it was Westchester Hawks, whether it was playing for the center for Boston, Benji and them, like me, Josh, Paris, Dink, all of us was on the same team. We was running through shit. We got to the point where they was like, yo, y'all have to go play in the city at this point. Like, once we went to the city, we was holding our own, but it was different. It was a lot harder to win games. It wasn't hard necessarily to dominate for us, but it was harder to win that game. I would have 20, my team would win by 20 up here. I would have 20, we might lose by 10, 12 down there. And the shit wouldn't really mean nothing. And then you realize when you go down there, you know, clout even back then, politics even back then was crazy.
It wasn't that year, but the craziest politics I've ever seen was when, what's his name? Shamari Pond.
Nah. Shout out to him. He got a strap. He got strapped.
Pause
Pause on that. Pause on that.
Saying another nigga got strapped is crazy. Pause.
That was crazy.
That was, but further on.
I mean, rightfully so. Like guys like Shamari Pons, Isaiah
I'm just talking about clout.
You know, the clout, like, it is different because you think about it. PSAL and the Catholic League are the most historic leagues.
I mean, yeah,
Not just in New York.
Yeah,
like,
just
in the country in general. They produce pros. Like, and when you get the next up guy, they're gonna do that. They're gonna do that. You gotta understand, Isaiah Whitehead comes up after Steph, Marbury, Sebastian Telfair, and Lance Stevenson. He's the next one. So he was gonna get that. Shamari Pons at that time, while Isaiah Whitehead is over there at Lincoln, he's at Jefferson beating them sometimes. So now they're looking like, yo, who was that? And then he gets that. So, like, yeah, for sure. And then you got some people that's from Westchester, you know, they go to Connecticut, they go to Jersey, they, you know.
Why is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? So why is it that we don't stay? Well,
you got to think back in my time, 2010 to 12, around that time, it wasn't the cool thing to go to Stepinac like it is after that and now. It wasn't the cool thing. Like, it was okay for people who was at Stepinac to go back to their neighborhood high schools and play. It was okay back then. It wasn't a knock. So it wasn't a knock for Abdullah to leave Stepinac and come back to Williams and play. They won 2 championships. It wasn't a knock for me to leave Rice High School and come to Williams. We were still on TV and shit. It didn't matter. It wasn't a knock for Jalil to leave Stepinac and go back to Hamilton. They were still good. Like, that wasn't a knock back then. Maybe to these kids nowadays, they might feel like,
now it's the other way around.
Yeah, it's the other way around. But then they feel like, damn, I suck if I got to go back home.
But I think as me going to, like, Mount Carmel, like, in Mount Carmel, that's all they instilled in us was Catholic school. Mm-hmm. So, like, we looked at, step Iona. That's what we doing. Like, in public school, they're not thinking about stepping Iona or Scanlon. Like, we, at Mount Carmel, we was thinking about stepping Iona. Me and Kyle was talking about step in 7th grade. We had Coach Tim at all our games. The head coach at Step at the time.
Malik Omas.
Yeah, he was.
Went to,
shout out Malik.
Yeah, shout out Malik.
Another Greenberg guy, but he was at Mount Carmel. So you know what I'm saying? And then Coach Tim, after he was recruiting Malik, he kept coming at me in Collins games. Right. And then he recruited us to come to Step. So like Mount Carmel, so if you're not in a public school, if you're in a public school, you're not looking at Step and Iona. But at Catholic school, that's what we're looking at because then they're getting you ready for the taxes in to take that to get into Step or Iona. So it's like it's different.
Even them bringing up Malik, like for my age group, our driving motivation for the dudes in Greenberg was Josh James. Like, seeing him at Step and all of that, as far as clout is concerned, Josh was given the world. And rightfully so. At that time, he deserved that.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. He was on Stepinac. He played for Gauchos. He did all of that. And for us, like, me, Paris Purcell, and all us, Dink and all us, we all looking at like, we be killing right beside him too. So there's times where we gotta take that extra step to show improve, as opposed to him at times. But we had to do that because he was on a higher level at that point than us. So like I think that's the difference. Sometimes it's all about placement and right decisions at the right time.
I also feel like it's just coverage too. There's not a lot of coverage in Westchester.
Shout out Sideline Media.
Without Sideline Media, off the bench, and all those type of media people coming to Ferris, you wouldn't really know about Ferris.
Yeah.
You couldn't. You feel me? You can't really see nobody if they're not being shown.
So now I ask you this question. I'm gonna ask you this question personally. So like, you had the choice of whether I'll go Catholically if I want to. Why did you chose to stay at Williams or stay at a public school?
Yeah, I had a chance to stay at White Plains High School because I went to White Plains Middle School, but then I moved back to Greenberg. But I had a chance to go to White Plains High School, and I actually did think about going to a Catholic school, but I don't know. I just felt like it was just easier to just stay at Williams. Honestly, my friends just did. I played with them since I was young, and we already had plans on winning it. So I think that's
school in our era was more football. Was bigger football.
Yeah, Iona Prep is
2015,
right?
2014, 2015 was like more football. Like Catholic school Step, Iona,
St. Anthony,
they was dominant. And then like I think as Kylan and I think our senior year, that's when basketball started getting bigger. And then that's when you got RJ coming in, you got Allen Griffin. That's when they got bigger. Iona had Matt Ryan, Ty Jerome.
Yeah.
So football in our era, Catholic school in our era was mainly football. like football was huge. Like a lot of them going D1. Like we had a lot of
Football. They was in the top league when we went into school. Like when I went into StepNet, we was in the A. And then by the time I graduated,
Double A,
we was in
right?
Double A. So now we're seeing the school.
I thought we went in as Double A because we ended up playing Christ the King
A, bro.
for basketball.
Basketball.
Yeah, for football.
Football was Double A.
It was Double A.
The year with Josh, the year Josh's senior year was the year where they made the jump to Double A. That was Step's first year in the
for
Double
basketball.
A.
Yeah,
That's when they were seeing Christ the King, Lockland, and like that's the schedule.
That's when Rice shut down.
Yeah. Wow. So talk to me about that.
That was the only time I felt, I'm going to be real, only time I felt fair ever in basketball. In Catholic League, like in the city, playing for Rice, like I didn't feel worthy. I ain't going to lie. Like, I'm grabbing that jersey. I'm like, yo, this nigga Kemba was wearing this shit last year. Like, I didn't feel worthy. I ain't gonna hold you. But that instilled a certain level of confidence in me to where when I came back to Westchester for high school, my JV team would beat top teams in Double A in Section 1. Like, we had me, Scoochie, and all of us on our team. Like, we would have beat the shit out of Section 1 schools. So, like, when I came back to Section 1, I felt nothing. I felt like, okay, it's time to dominate. I had a level of arrogance at that point because I did the transfer over. Yeah. So, like, but Rice was like, that shit was gladiator school. Like, gym class was practice. Our gym teacher was our coach. So, like, when we would come in there, if you was on the ball team, everybody else used to be on one half of the court doing whatever, and then on the other half, we had to work out. Yeah. And then go to third period all sweaty and shit. It was crazy. Like, Rice was a culture shock to me. Us having to take a train to go to Bishop Loughlin was the craziest shit ever. Like, all those little things. Like, we got on the bus. We had to go to get ready for.
And that's if it's that's how it used to be. Yeah, real shit.
Yeah, we took a train from Harlem.
A lot of city teams don't take buses. They take the regular beeline bus.
Because think about it. You know how much traffic you would hit.
Nah, like imagine
6 o'clock, 3
we had the
o'clock.
cheese bus. You taking the beeline from say if it was. You taking the beeline from Woodlands to White Plains, and then after that, that's if they're on schedule. Mm-hmm. Sometimes delayed and
and weather being involved too.
So you leave school early.
Yeah.
Only time we took a bus I remember vividly was when we went to St. Anthony's, scrimmage St. Anthony's in New Jersey. It's the only time I remember taking a bus.
See, I couldn't go to that. But I don't even like the subway.
So like we was taking the subway because our home gym for Rice was at Gaucho's. Yeah. Our gym was too small in Rice. So we used to just take the train to Gaucho's and that was that. Like that's when I learned, how to move, militant and stay dangerous because, we on the train and then after the game, it's about 9 p.m., 10 p.m., you moving around the Bronx and Harlem during that time. And that's when it was the culture to get robbed over your Pellies, your Pelly jackets, your Biggies, your BB belts, everything. That was that culture at that time. Yeah. So, like, and at that time, you see a walker with a cane and all of that.
And then
that was that culture. So, like, it was that's what it was. And then I lived in that time. I wasn't even in Thralls then. I was living in Castle Hill. And our rivals was St. Ray's. And St. Ray's is right there. Yeah. And they used to be waiting for us at the bottom of the steps. We used to have to go the long way around the platform. We used to have to run sometimes. One of my mans got caught up one time, got jumped. Yeah, it was crazy. You would think, as a parent, I'm sending my son to Catholic school. Yeah, he should be all right. And he's not, and I'm not all right. I was more safe in public school, Woodlands and all that, than Rice. And then at Rice is all boys.
Rice was... That shit was like
it's all boys. Rikers Island. Yeah, it's Rikers Island. 7 floors. All boys. Freshmen and sophomores on one floor. Seniors and juniors on the other floor. We used to fight. That's when I learned play the bathroom and all of that. You go in the bathroom, fight, come out, and that's that. It was crazy. Rice was crazy, but it helped me.
But one thing that I love about even in the Westchester community is just how the family. Not only that, coaching and discipline. It's over there, and then not only that, the facilities as well. Like, we look at over there, it's like, all right, you have the grit and you have athleticism, and that's it. That's going to win you game. Over here, it's just more discipline. It's like, it teaches you how to win games, teaches you how to be a player.
I think that's from somebody.
That's why you have people like Colin, you have people like Brandon, you have people like Jamil, you have people like even RJ, Meech, you name it,
I'm not even gonna lie. Like sometimes, like when you look at these games, bro, like you admire like the team aspect. When you go to like see like a city game back where we usually live at, it's more so of one star that's in that Catholic school. When you come to over here, like either public
could be the
school,
star or not.
It could be all players that's like playing as one.
Yeah, it's like that amazed me was Newro versus Mount Vernon when I came back to Westchester. PJ Torres versus Jabari Hines. That was like the first. Like I was like, that was the first Westchester clout I seen. Like them two, like you got people at the county center holding up banners that say P Jesus and shit like that. Like I've never seen that for a specific one person before in front of me. Like I've seen LeBron play in high school on TV, and you'll see, you know, the cutout heads and all of that when he was in high school. But like for somebody that's like in front of me, that was the first time I ever saw that. It was through PJ.
And then not only that, like even hearing stories about Cha, obviously, and then now even watching them, like 2013, 2014, 2015, 2014, 2015, like that team when y'all went to states 2014, 2015. That was like it's like even watching y'all and it's like there was no ego involved. It's like, wow, I see the difference between the two. It's like y'all playing basketball. And it's like, yo, one day he's the man. And then the next day, all right, yo, Pierre's the man. Or, yo, Ross the man, Jamil's the man. It's like, that's when I learned, all right, you know what, it's a huge difference.
But you also don't see teams in the city that how they grew up together. All of them grew up together. Besides Jamil came out here what?
Probably start of
10th?
Start of high school, probably.
Yeah, like we literally all grew up together. So like that team all grew up together. Jamil and DZ probably.
Yeah, my team was a little mixy.
So like they've been hooping with each other for the longest. So when it got to that, it was time for that chip. They had that.
I'll say for
even Briarcliff, even his team, they've been hooping together for the longest. You know what I'm saying? So when they got together, it was like, all right.
That situation is actually funny. Like, and like you can speak on it right after I speak. Like you said, the growing up together piece and all of that. Like, they're literally like, boom. So my biggest rival when I was at Woodlands was they big man, Brian Daniels, who used to play for Briarcliff. So that class, him, Tyreek Johnson, Rome, and all of them, is our class. He's a descendant of that. He's under them. Like, he's younger. So he's seeing that. And they're under us. So it was like a carryover. It was like, once we graduated, like, cool, next. And then they was next up.
And it went just like that. Like, it was like we inherited beef a little bit.
Yeah.
But, like, it's crazy because, like, there was a point in time, like, I want to say, like, when I was, like, 10th, 11th, 12th, like, all throughout high school, like, I couldn't stand no Woodlands kids. Like, Brandon, Pierre, like, we all grew up there. I loved them to death. But when it came to this basketball,
It's pride.
I can't get next to them. You feel me? Because it's gonna spill. I can't be friends with them because I'm not gonna play as or I'm not gonna play angry. You feel me? I remember one time, Brandon, I don't know if I want you to speak on this because I know something happened in the background. Do you remember they used to drop the whole, like, mid-season all-stars like that?
For what?
For, like, high school.
Oh, you talking about the LoHud shit?
Yeah.
LoHud?
So they dropped that list. It was, like, halfway through your season, right? Right before Christmas break or right after, they would drop that list. You feel me? Of course, it's Brandon, it's Jamil, it's Ross. They're on the list. Point guard, it was me and TJ Seawright. Pierre was not on the list. You feel me? That back then was everything to me. Like, I felt like I belong now. You feel me? I could step on the court with him and he has to respect me. You feel me? Because of that. I just want you to speak on, like, was there any time, like, y'all sat there, looked at the list, like, why the fuck is Malik on this list?
Nah, we never. I ain't gonna lie. When first at rivalry, I was confused too because I didn't think we have any rivals really besides Dallas favorite when Eric was there.
No, you got to understand. So, like, on the outskirts, right, you looking at it as Woodlands, Briarcliff. I wasn't looking at it as that. So, like, I'm saying I never played Briar Cliff High School.
Oh, okay.
I played against Brian Daniels in the center in the summer league.
Oh, okay.
He just so happened to go to Briar
So it's
Cliff.
like everything. All right, you know what?
And they're
dropping.
It wasn't more.
And
like
they're really
Briar Cliff,
Elmsford.
Woodlands.
So it's really like Elmsford, Woodlands, Greenberg, White Plains.
I still don't think we had a rivalry with anybody in Westchester.
That's what happens when you win 2 championships in a row.
Yeah, now you don't see nobody.
You
You
see
see
nobody.
That's a fact. And then,
You see the humble went out the window. You see the humble went out the window, right?
I'm just thinking back. I don't think we.
But they're all right to.
But like, even with the list thing, we wasn't even looking at the list. We was thinking about the states. You feel me?
Yeah.
They was thinking about
So
the
we
right
was thinking
thing.
about other things. We wasn't even,
right.
like, I looked at the list, but I didn't really care for it. I mean, we was trying to get the state title.
You heard what Leak said, right? They was thinking about the right things, right? That's what
And then he
we
talking
talk about
state.
this shit. We talk about this shit all the time. You know, we competitive. You know,
Yeah.
we like to talk about what Woodlands team was the best and da 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 da.
That team.
The one
No,
team
it's
I
really
give.
that team.
No, most definitely. Listen, I'll say this though. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna get into that. It's gonna be a long talk. We're gonna be 3 hours in. I'm telling you. My thing was this. I felt like. I feel like.
Let's
and-
not talk about the what is.
But
They-
I say, look.
No.
I say,
They won the chip. They won chips, right? On all levels, college, NBA, and all of that. How many teams you saw win a chip over dudes that didn't win a chip, and they weren't better than them?
Okay,
Say that
but
again, say that again.
How many? John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, and them, right? They wasn't
They were-
incredible
they
at
was- they
Kentucky.
was.
They didn't win a chip, did they? But does that mean per se Anthony Davis and them team that did win a chip was better than them? No, absolutely, because they weren't.
But
That's the
see,
comparison
but-
I'm saying.
But
my
the
team,
question-
But you know what I'll say? You know what I would
and then
say?
Anthony Davis,
You know
Mike
what I would
Jokic
say
on.
though?
They
You know what I
won.
would say though? If
Yes.
it was an all like a
Literally,
Greenberg,
that's what it was.
If it was an all-time Greenberg team and an all-time Elford team, I think all-time Elford team will get it.
Are you
Of
crazy?
course.
Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Of course.
Are you crazy?
Nah, you gotta do the knowledge. You gotta do the
Of
knowledge.
course.
Y'all don't know. Y'all must not know a lot of
Greenberg.
No, y'all have a
Greenberg
lot.
got it.
We
He
do
got it.
know.
They got it right now. They have it right now.
Wait, you're talking about right now or back then?
No, he
I'm
said
talking about
all
all-time.
Bro, we have Ronnie Abrams. What are we talking about here?
He old. We have Donovan Mitchell.
Did we not just say
He just was an all-star.
from Greenwich?
Me and Donovan.
Yo, D-Mitch, I love you, boy.
Me and Donovan played on the same
No,
baseball
I
team
feel
and
you.
soccer team. He's
I
from
feel
Elmsford,
you.
But
New
if you're
York.
talking
We
about
claimed
your team
Donovan
and his
Mitchell.
team, I'm picking their team.
I'm picking
1,000%.
Well, you have to
and I'm
understand.
already
You have to
because I'm
understand.
young
No,
watching
the
them. I'm
question-
looking at them. They had
Wait,
the
hold
quarterback.
Well, no, wait. So if you're young watching them, how young were you when I was in high school then?
I was
You
like,
couldn't have soaked up the knowledge to know how good.
But
my
I
team
knew y'all was tough. But
The
then
difference is
I
this.
was in the field
We
with them,
had 2 stars. They had 1 and a couple of X factors.
Stop it.
Nah, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't fucking do that.
no.
Don't do that.
It was
Don't
fun.
do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Get out. I was get the fuck out. Get out. Yo, JT, kick him out. He's done.
Okay,
Go this way.
hold on, stop.
done.
Hold on, stop. Because we actually,
One and X Factor is crazy.
we actually grew together, right? So what I'm saying is this, right? The player that you see today in Brandon is not who he was in high school.
I was still getting buckets.
He was getting
No.
buckets.
There's a lot of on my team that was getting buckets. DeAndre used to come off
Yeah,
the bench
yeah.
and get 15 off the bench a game.
Shout out Drizzy.
Shout out
Had
Dre.
the freaking hammer.
So that doesn't mean he was a star on my team.
Pause.
Because he wasn't.
That
was crazy.
That was.
Brandon was an X Factor. Jamil was Ross was the ultimate X Factor, right?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Abdullah was the general, not a star. Didn't Pierre used to come off the bench sometimes? Not your senior.
Nah, he was starting.
Junior year.
Came off the bench.
He came off the bench. That's not a star in my eyes.
Yo, that's
But me and Reese Williams, we was stars.
Let me say something about that.
We was top 15 in Westchester. We was stars.
All right, let me say. Let him rebuttal
Nothing
that.
to do with
Now-
ability.
Yeah, that's that.
I didn't say that. I didn't say nothing about it. I just said
Let
stars and roles. That's all I said.
him rebuttal.
All right, so if you want to talk about stars, he was actually, I think, second all state or something like that.
I mean, you would have to be. You made it there.
But I wasn't. I was 7th. So you can't say he wasn't
Y'all
one
won
of
a
the stars.
chip. You won a chip. This is what I'm saying, right? So boom. The only way you're gonna be all state is if you're like putting up crazy numbers, and if you lose, those crazy numbers can still validate for them.
Okay.
Now, for you and Pierre's sake, y'all putting them numbers, but y'all won. But you're not the star of the team, though.
Yeah, but they were.
That's
yo,
what I'm
that's
saying.
crazy, yo.
Nah,
Nah,
Gang,
but
that's
they were huge
crazy.
contributors.
Yo, he's out there.
I feel personally Y'all had, and listen,
I feel
to each
what
his
you're
own.
saying.
Y'all had one star.
Who was the star?
Y'all had one Batman, but y'all robbing motherfuckers with some robbing ass. Y'all niggas
Some Robins.
Because this is
I
the
don't know
thing.
about that.
All right,
I don't know
Who was
about
the
that.
star?
Jamil.
Jamil. Oh my
Wait,
God.
but Jamil. All right, but there was a. You said
me and Riz, we was top 10 in Westchester.
But they giving Jamil a
And,
lot
and,
of time.
and I'll say this too.
But then you.
Me and Reese were star, and I'm gonna put it like this: the love that Murphy had for Jamil is the same love he had for Reese, and I still managed to get through that.
Yeah, but you gotta understand that they've been practicing
my junior
against
year.
Jamil all the time.
You know, my junior year, I was the X Factor.
Yeah, that's what I was
That's
gonna
what I'm
say.
saying.
Hold on.
Not X Factor.
Hold on, what do he call himself?
His
That's the art. So my point was just proven. My point was just proven.
I was the star matchup. That's what I meant to say.
You said one game. I mean overall.
The overall question?
No, overall.
Wait,
No. What I'm saying is, y'all had one overall star. End of the season, beginning of the season. But when the season come out with season previews, and when the season ends with the articles, who's the man? Jamil.
Okay, wait.
Do y'all get brought up? Yes. Just like
But
when I
during
was
the
there,
season?
me and Reese, and then you will get guys like Andre Scipio and them get brought up from Mount Vernon, right? Now, with that being said, as far as
No.
matchups, as far as matchups is concerned, is Pierre and Abdullah better than J1 or Sid? No.
I don't know.
Well, y'all wouldn't know. We know. We know.
I'm taking my guy.
Because like you said, of course you're taking your guys, but
No, we seen
your
them.
guard was under the wing of mine.
What does that mean?
J1, come here. Let me really show you. Cause see, like Abdullah, you said he could do what? He could be the best player on the court without doing what?
Scoring.
J1 did both.
But the overall question is
This
team.
is
What's
crazy.
the
Yeah,
best
Abdullah, you really
team?
taking
No.
this heat?
Don't.
They
Yeah,
have
Abdullah,
the
wait,
best
wait,
team.
Now,
Abdullah, you really
now,
taking
Not all
personally
personally,
me?
Now,
Wait,
I'll
hold
give
on.
you this.
Game like
I'll
that,
give you this.
so-
The reason why I have to break down the matchups is like the analogy I brought up. DeMarcus Cousins and them and the Anthony Davis. Because who y'all played was not who we played, and who we played might have not been who y'all played.
Okay, so
In certain cases.
so you're saying that your team had the better players, but
And,
overall,
I think we had better competition too.
overall, they had the better squad.
You got to think about it. They had
So-
four
so
guys.
what we gonna say?
If we're going to talk about a squad,
I just said we had a guy called
They had a better
Squad.
squad.
So they had four.
Overall,
What did we
they
have?
weren't really a team. It was more like
And we had
It was more
we
like-
had guys coming off the bench better
Yeah.
than them too.
And you took who?
We had Drake come off the bench for us.
That's one person.
No.
Maybe he was better than us. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Oh, I thought you said better than us, like as in like the starting five.
Okay,
What?
I thought you said your bench was better than our starting five.
We had more depth than y'all off the
y'all
bench.
say that. Y'all ain't had no.
Sure.
Gonna play seven people anyway.
No,
They had better depth than
That's
them.
cool.
No, they didn't have depth. That was
They didn't have
that was
depth.
the way
They had a power ass starting five though. They started five. They started five. Handled it.
mind you,
Handled it.
the point that he said earlier was X factors, right?
I just said Drake came off the bench,
That's
bro.
one person. And
That's just
Dre's
one
senior
person.
year, he wasn't even the leading scorer.
Dre senior, I wasn't there.
how
I
many
can't
stars
vouch
y'all
for that.
It was Jamil and me. That's the leading scorer.
You wasn't a
Dre's senior
star. You were a
year.
role player. You was
I was
the
talking about highly. What do you mean?
you was the corner shooter.
I was not the corner shooter. That's
What's
Ross.
your
Ross was the
what's
corner
your
shooter.
what's your
Yeah,
Twitter?
Ross,
Wait,
you a
no,
corner
wait.
shooter.
Ross,
you a corner shooter.
What was your Twitter name? What was your Twitter name?
Ross, you was a quarter shooter.
Be the shooter, because that's what he was. He was the shooter.
Ross, you was a corner shooter.
Ross, you were short corner catching it and finishing.
Ross, you was a corner shooter.
Shit, what you got now?
Yeah, basically what I'm saying is Brandon,
Shout out
Pierre
to
too. Pierre was good in high school, right? But Pierre this is what I will always give them.
So
They all got better after high
So
school.
name me one
I will
person.
give them that.
Wait, hold it. So name me one person from that team could guard AB, Pierre, Jamil. See?
No, I do have an answer for that. because first of all, my guards, right? It was a little wired a little differently. They'll tell AB and them that they'll them and they'll mean it, right?
Oh, we ain't-
No, but I'm saying, but they're better. But they're better than them. Our guards is better than them. Andre Scipio's better than Pierre. Justin Smith was better than
Okay.
Abdullah. And if those two can't vouch for that,
raw.
then they think it too highly of themselves.
In terms
Better at
of
what?
raw talent,
Better at everything.
They're scoring.
No.
Because they don't play no D.
Pierre.
They don't play no D. My team was straight defense.
Abdul,
That's what I'm saying.
My guy,
Do not say
That's
shit.
raw
my
talent and
guys
skill.
play defense too. We're not gonna
No,
do
they
that.
don't.
And y'all had no rim protection.
No, they don't.
Y'all ain't having me down there. Who's y'all rim protection?
You gonna guard Mill?
Mill gonna guard me?
Alright, Mill gonna get
Wait a minute,
30.
wait a
I'll
minute. They had Mill and Kyle.
Mill's not getting shit. Are you crazy? I play EYBL and they wasn't getting 30. What you think Mill? I'm gonna take Mill out the game by the first quarter. I'm gonna take him out the game by the first quarter. 20 and 15. At the end of the first quarter,
Fred.
yo, my man, the same way you're saying he has an advantage, my advantage is going to outlast his. He's going to be very tired. He won't hit shots.
But you're not
He
guarding
gotta
him
be
from
down.
the
He gotta be down there.
perimeter. You're not
with me.
guarding
I'm
him.
gonna earn it.
You're not gonna guard him from the perimeter.
I've guarded Jabari Parker. You think I'm worried about Jamil?
But he gave you work.
He'll give you work, though.
gave you work.
He's number one in the country. But I'm just saying. Do you think I'm worried about Jamil? This is why context. Let's put some context in this. I know y'all look at me and y'all look at my size now, right? It was not like this in high school. In high school, I was really DeMarcus Cousins for real. It was different for real. So what I'm saying is, by the end of the second quarter, Jamil would have been on the bench. God damn it. This is too much. This 6'6", 260. This is too much.
Wait.
All them shots he won't hit.
It's not just.
First of all, I can camp in the paint. Reese could guard Jamil. Are you crazy? You know Reese is guarding you. Ross was Reese's son.
What does that mean?
You and Jamil, you and Ross. You and Ross is better than Reese?
I'm going at Reese.
See how he dances, right? You see how he dances, right? I asked a simple question. Were you and Ross better than Reese as basketball players? High school.
Yes.
High school?
Yeah,
I might be.
Nah, you might be. It's
no.
crazy. I ain't even gonna lie. That's like another tell me, yo, does he have a better pocket?
No, he don't. He stuttered. He thought about it.
Nah, yes.
I'll say this though. Now I'll say this. Like to Lil's point, they grew up together. You know what I'm saying? The camaraderie, the chemistry was really there. I enjoyed them for that. So with that being said, the luxuries that they had, that Murph get that run and gun and all that extra shit, I feel like Murph was a little more lenient on that.
That's like
I didn't say he wasn't hard for y'all.
Yeah.
No. I didn't say. I'm talking about style of play. I was able to play a different way. But I think because y'all don't really have a big. They have all wings and all.
What? We're packing them, respectfully.
Wait, what?
If else didn't go to Catholic schools, we're packing y'all.
Woodlands is getting quiet.
They gonna have. They're gonna have condoms in all of them.
Just had Kai.
Whoa.
Get into it.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
That don't count. Like,
He lived in the town.
He was on my soccer team.
Because RJ is from
Donovan didn't go to high school in Westchester.
But he went to middle school in Westchester in Elmsford.
We talking about
listen,
Westchester. High school.
No. High school.
No, I'm saying if you look.
He's saying if they didn't go.
No, I'm saying
if they
if you didn't
didn't
go.
leave the Catholic school or
That's
wherever
what.
they
Listen,
went.
if
That's
Malik,
where I come in and say they might.
if Malik,
They who?
And that's the reason why.
Elmsford. You said all time.
All
Time. Elmsford's guy.
All right, so wait, what's the
maybe?
All right, so what's the stop? What's the stoppage on the
best
year?
player
What's the
out of
stoppage from the year? Like
JT, from your times, Greenberg was better in basketball than Elmsford, right?
Yeah,
And what year did you graduate high school?
05.
So that's about almost a decade or so prior to mine.
That's
So
when
from
Duffy and them,
2000 up until the
Duffy
recent
was
times,
07,
we were
Duffy
def
was
better than
07,
Elmsford.
right?
Greenberg was better than Elmsford.
But he's talking about if nobody went to
Now,
Catholic
all
school.
time, like I said, Ronnie Abrams
Ronnie
went
Abrams was
to
that.
North Carolina. I'm talking about old heads at this point because I'm giving y'all
talking about
maybe
very, very old
I'm
heads.
giving y'all
Okay.
what like
They didn't have a
17
3-point
and
line
up,
when they
2017 and
There
up.
was
I'm
no
giving y'all
three-point
that.
line when they was
It was just
hooping.
bully ball.
So what I'm saying is y'all guy will be Kevin Bass.
all time, yeah. I'm not. I don't really.
We
I'm gonna
had
be
he went to
I'm gonna be
Iona.
honest with you. The all time.
Our guy went to North Carolina.
I can't get talk.
I can't talk
I
about
can't
that.
talk about that because I really don't. know.
Daniel Abrams, big man. He went to Boston College.
I really don't know.
Two ACC guys in the same family from Greenberg. Tyrone Foster.
What about Sean?
See, this is a 90s. See, like 90s and shit like that. Let me tell you something.
I
I can't speak about 70s and 80s, but I know from 90s up until about 2017, it's been Greenberg. On the street ball level, too. We got Kurt.
We're talking about
But
teams.
we're
Right?
talking
We're talking about
about-
teams or
No, we're
players.
talking about players.
Yes.
All
And
time.
I was-
Talking about players.
All time.
You talking about Elm?
So this is all Woodland.
So
I'ma
boom,
put a
when
cap- I'ma
Team
put a cap-
914 was
I'm
Team
not
914, right? Who from Elmsford was on Team 914? And they covered all bases. They had Mount Vernon, they had New Road, they had Yonkers, they had Greenberg, they had White Plains. Who's left?
Yeah, for sure. I don't
But we're not gonna do that. Like Elmsford
I'm
is
not.
gonna put-
No,
put a
because
cap-
he
no,
said
but
it
I'm
was
saying-
y'all,
I'm
and I got to give the history lesson to prove
But you
from a
going
certain time frame. It's not.
1635. You going
So when does it shift? Because it shifted.
It's 2017 is when it
It
shifts.
shifted.
No, I say
before
2016.
No,
I say
not
2016.
before
It
that.
shifted.
Well, I'm
before
gonna say this.
that.
The reason why I'm saying 2017 is because as long as Brandon and them is at Woodlands, it didn't shift yet.
It didn't shift.
Yeah,
but
I said from 2017.
2017 is like Paris Brown and all.
But you gotta think about.
We're talking about teams.
You gotta think about.
No, we're talking about
Yo, let me
individuals.
tell you something.
Players.
Because it wasn't me.
I
and
asked,
Hoopers
I
in
asked,
town.
I asked
No,
my,
yeah.
I asked
It was
my
me.
AD.
Who was in the
Final
town?
thoughts, and
Me,
I'm
you, and
gonna
who else?
switch it because this
Eli?
is gonna get too.
With
Bro,
Eli,
let me tell you the difference. Like,
League out.
let me just tell you the difference. We asked Mr. Smith, the AD at the time. He was like, "Yo, why don't you ever schedule the Elmsford team, Hamilton?" You know what he did? Like,
Laugh.
why am I scheduling that? Y'all gonna beat them. Why am I doing that? We're gonna schedule these
He did it for
double
us, too,
A's
'cause
and
we
these
asked.
A's. We need to get better so we get the states.
That's 20 what?
We like
That was 20 what?
That was 2015.
2011,
I'm talking
2012. We asked the same
2017.
question.
We was
Glad.
with 5 players.
This is the thing, though. When it
2017.
comes to
2017 on,
Elmsford,
it's gonna be
it's
Elmsford.
not really fair
When it
with
comes to
Woodlands.
Hamilton, it's not right.
Bro,
It's not.
No.
y'all town is just small, just like ours.
No, but they divide us.
No,
I had to
'cause
go
he
to
can't- he lives
Briarcliff.
in
I couldn't
No,
go to Hamilton.
we're not talking about schools. We're talking about players,
Yes,
individuals.
and if the players that were in Elmsford would have stayed and all went
And
to
the
Hamilton,
players that left Woodlands, Najee Forte, Britton Purcell,
but
Paris
where did
Purcell,
Najee go? Where did
Andre Pope.
Najee came to Elmsford.
You put yourself in a loophole just now saying that. Because just like when I was asking, we would have had Josh.
A lot of people.
Same.
That would have been
I
different.
like Kylan.
That would have been different.
Yo, nah, we
Yeah, I
was
like
on-
Kylan.
That's cool, but
In
would
that
he have grown
matchup.
to, would he have grown to be the player that he is today? If he went
Yeah,
there?
because was he not? Were we not wild in middle school?
No. I mean, I don't know. I never played y'all.
Kylan
Yeah,
was
you
good.
never seen us.
Kylan
You wasn't
was
outside
always
of middle
good,
school.
though.
I
love it. This is the
was
pound.
outside, nigga.
He was
So it's
City
not-
Moves podcast.
Alright, wait.
B, you went to White Plains. You
So
left
now-
the hood.
Nah, no,
I
wait,
remember when you left.
All right, so I'm gonna switch it because this is
Nah, yeah,
too good.
I told you. Y'all baited me. I told you I was gonna feel like active.
Yeah.
All right, so now look.
Absolutely.
So now look. Now this is for all of us, right? So why do you think Westchester is so undervalued?
You want to
as
know
in-
why?
As in
Because
players?
we don't do enough of what we just did. We don't pat ourselves on the backs. We don't do what we just did. If we had table talks and we had guys from Mount Vernon, New Road, Yonkers, and all of that at the table talking the same way we just talking, you would hear the history blurted out. We don't do enough of that. And we're just now starting to get media people like Sideline and all of them to really start putting us out there to the forefront and make it all about us. We also, through the years, I think personally, we show the city too much love.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
We show New York City way too much love. When New York City is a fact, they gatekeep us out.
So
think
now
about
it's,
Dykeman.
so now it's fucked them.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't say that. What it is it's more so about we fuck with us now.
And a lot of city dudes also think fucking Westchester is 2 hours away.
Upstate.
So
It's only
some type of
25
shit.
minutes
It's
away.
only 25 minutes.
So you think about it, right?
Like, literally. So, like,
If
we
you're
all...
in the Bronx, you probably get to Westchester before you get to Brooklyn.
Brooklyn
Yeah,
faster.
that's a fact. That's a fact.
So, like, like, I don't know, where'd y'all go to college?
I went to Mercy College.
I went to Mercy. So I went to SUNY Broome. So I was up in Binghamton with the city kids. That Westchester, they think is next to Binghamton. All them city kids used to think Binghamton is Westchester.
Because we don't big ourselves up.
But we
enough.
15, 20 minutes away.
Exactly, literally.
But we don't talk about
And we
it.
also got,
And then Yonkers is nigga.
we don't
Mount
talk
Vernon
about
is
it.
literally a block away from the Bronx.
we also don't got enough tournaments out here.
So my question is,
Summer leagues. We don't got enough of them.
Colin, what's your take? And I'm gonna go back to Lil.
So for me, I started in the city. Like when I was playing AAU, I went to the city, and I feel like the couple good ones that like are around. I mean, like people are good, but we don't really stick together and grow up together. I don't think the resources were the same.
Yeah.
Like, I went to Riverside when I was like 8 years old. So from 8 to like 12, 13, I grew up playing in the city. And I'm seeing dudes who can play at that level who are just like stuck playing, you know, at what's the AAU pro next level?
Next level.
And like y'all are getting in tournaments that y'all win those tournaments, but they're not really the tournaments that are putting y'all on the map. Like y'all are playing at Cooperstown while like, you know,
We going to,
like we're
we
playing
going
at
to some other
Gauchos.
shit. Yeah. So like I didn't start playing next level until high school, and that's when we started going to hoop. So like when I was in the Bronx, it was back to basics in Metro Hawks for me.
Yeah.
So that's what it was for me, and for him it was Riverside, but he was still out here. So like it wasn't Westchester, like league ain't really playing a lot of tournaments in the Bronx.
Tournaments.
So like UDC, Nike Swish, housing tournament. You had the Stephon Marbury tournament in Brooklyn, like
Pro style.
There was so many. There was so many things that a lot of dudes in Westchester don't even know about. Yo, bro, I used to wear jerseys. We used to go hoop all the time. I used to wear different jerseys.
So wait, your first AU team was what? Back to basics
Back
in
to
Metro
basics,
Hawks.
Metro Hawks.
Yours was Riverside. Mine was Metro Hawks. All city programs.
But then you want me to tell you why we have the better facilities. We have, if you want, we're more disciplined. Why is it that we have to go to over there?
But look how hard it is for people to get in those facilities. The center is before we took it over. Is how easy can you get into the center without meaning?
It's hard.
It was hard for you.
It's hard.
Even though you was from Greenberg, it was still hard. Now I don't know if you can use the gym. Now since me and Fred did, we in there. Pull up.
And also from the city standpoint, they've made a living off of. So what? We got this bum ass gym, but we don't got no bum ass players.
And
Rice was number 8 in the country, and they can't play it at home.
you can't walk.
They have to go to Gaucho.
You can't walk a block without seeing a basketball court. In the city.
And kids on it. That's
Yeah, you
another
can't walk a
thing.
block without seeing
See,
that.
like us, when we was growing up, we had to orchestrate our runs. Hit everybody. Yo, come. There, just walk outside.
To this day, I don't even see the kids nowadays hoop like how we used to hoop. Yo, me, Kai,
So do you think the motivation's gone?
yeah, COVID, Fortnite,
Social media.
social media.
But if
Nobody
anything,
hoop
that
no
puts
more.
it more on the map though, because then it's like, all right, I'm advertising.
But they're
it's
not
free
outside as
advertising.
much.
They're not outside.
Side, like we used to hoop every day. We used to hoop at y'all know DeLuca Park, right?
Yeah,
We used to hoop at DeLuca Park, 12 o'clock to 3. Chill, eat. Yo, Uncle Kent, turn the lights off for us. We in there for 2 hours hooping. They
Social
don't do
media
that no
too.
more.
But name a movement from Westchester on the high school level. They got Jelly Fam. You understand? To breed these new kids up under the COVID era, up under the social media era, we haven't had a movement.
So, my question is this: like, you orchestrated the pound runs to not only the youth, but what is the message that you're trying to invoke to those kids, those basketball players that's now on the rise? If that makes sense.
If you want to get invited, get better. Work on your craft. The pound runs is not one of those runs where you just there to try to get in shape. You just there to try to work on your jump shot. Nah, it's not that. Because what happens is we have so much talent in the gym. If you go there to get in shape or work on your craft while you in those runs, you're gonna get embarrassed because of the people you guard. Everybody's good from 1 to 5 in the pound runs. So it's like, what the message we're trying to get out there is, yes, it's exclusive because I don't know about y'all. Have y'all heard of anyone else doing stuff like that?
Nah,
And not every night.
On the high school level, especially, like we have the best players in Westchester there every night. When we started after we won Ferris, we had damn near it looked like the Ferris All-Star game. Like everybody from different teams, from Team Yonkers, L Block, Live Action, everyone was at the runs.
Like Fred made that post with, like, yo, stop hitting us up. Because we've been doing these runs. It just wasn't the pound runs. Like, I was doing it at Hamilton on the, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, after AAU practice, or if we didn't have AAU practice, we do it at Hamilton. And then
DeLuca too. I seen like clips of DeLuca and
that was
Mazzaro.
Mazzaro. I said that was
Mazzaro,
Mazzaro.
yeah.
DeLuca,
So
Mazzaro.
then after Ferris, we won the chip, whatever. We're like, yo, let's do some runs. I'm like, yo, let's do Mazzaro's. I'm gonna turn the lights on. Fred's like, yo, we need to name it something. I'm like, yo, Fred's like, let's name it the pound runs. So that was the first one, and then we was just jumping from spot to spot. So like when we was first posting the videos, where was everybody at when they was hitting when we was doing it? Nobody was hitting us. Now it get more popping. Yeah. We get D Mitch to pull up to a run.
The cameras is out.
The cameras is out. Now everybody want to start coming. Cameras is there, videos. So like if we're not hitting you, don't hit us. So yeah, it's exclusive because of the fact that we've been doing this, and y'all wasn't hitting us from when it was above ground, when it was under the ground.
Yeah, because y'all wanted to go to Joe Schmo and them's gym elsewhere.
I don't want to play outside. Now we got a gym. Everybody want to be there.
Because I think, like you said, when we first started at Mazzaro, I think the message for that one was, let's stop being Hollywood and let's really get back to the essence. And we knew real hoopers would be there.
And people really love
people jack that first run at Mazzaro's under the lights.
Probably the best one. Probably the best one.
It was the best run.
It took us back, like, to being kids. But now we're on an elite level, brand-wise, and the players that played in it. Then we went to the college one in St. Thomas Aquinas, do the Meaches Connect. It got bigger after that because now everyone was like, oh, you guys got a gym now. Okay, now everybody wants to be in the gym. Then we pulled it at the center. So now it becomes a local thing, and it's in our community now. You know what I'm saying? Like the Greenberg, Elmsford, White Plains radius now.
Yeah.
We just trying to show not only just people that watch off sideline media and all of that, but especially people within Greenberg and Elmsford. Yo, like, y'all kids, y'all gotta step up. Y'all gotta step it up because we probably getting how many kids really? Like, a lot of the kids from out of town is really overshadowing the pound runs at this point. I can say for Greenberg, we probably pull in one.
I mean, invite them.
One kid, 2 kids.
Yeah, 2.
Right, and we're in the heart of Greenberg. And only 2 kids can foot the bill and really match up to play in the pound runs. So what does that say to the other masses of kids? You're not really working as hard as you think you are. You're not doing the things all of those things, the things you do in the dark that come out to light. Like, people think Kylan and Brandon and Meach and them just wake up like that. Nah, they don't see what they do in the dark or what they've done in the dark to get them to
But
this
maybe
point.
they don't have nobody that's going to, even like, we got to look at eras to be exact. Like, and I'm going to just say this, the new era, the Fortnite era, I'm going to say that. There's no push. So, like, Lil, Leaky, you, like, y'all could push that. Like, all right, let's put workouts instill that into them, if that makes any sense.
I feel like I know where you're going. It's like they don't have nobody to look up to. Because, like, for me, it was Fred and Josh and all that.
Yeah.
And then maybe for, like, Marcus and them, it was me and P and, like, there's nobody else. Like,
there was a drop-off, yeah.
Yeah, there's nobody in the vert. That's what they...
different in the fact
somebody to
that
look
me
up
and Fred, we got a few young boys that we push, but they're hard-headed.
Yeah.
Hard-headed.
Like, I feel like...
And they're the best. And they're the best of the pack. The ones that still hard-headed, but we push them, mentally, they're the best of the pack. Not like their physical skills. Mentally, they're the only ones that still have their head wrapped around. So now imagine the other kids.
So
don't.
They do got somebody to push them, but they hard-headed. They don't want to listen.
He coaches at Briarcliff. I coach at Irvington. He coaches at Alexander Hamilton. We have the pound players who are constantly around all summer. If you consider yourself a basketball player on the high school level, why aren't you at Ferris? Soaking it all up. Right? So now if you are at Ferris, right? At what point does it sink in? To say to yourself to look, first thing is looking yourself in the mirror. When do you look yourself in the mirror to say, yo, you know what? Maybe I'm not working as hard as I thought I was. Then if you really step on the stage and really play in these tournaments, you'll go and play against somebody who's just superior, better than you. Then you look yourself in the mirror again and say, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was.
And then another question as well. Have you guys ever had the thought of forming an AAU squad? Because it's like, all right, we have all these AAU squads where it's like, all right, you think of Next Level, you think of Minutemen, you think of Riverside, Metro, Westchester Hawks, Mount Vernon Elite, you think of, damn.
Well, no, you know who coaches Next Level? You know who's coached Next Level?
Who?
The championships?
Me and Pop.
And then Dave Slater.
Oh, so shout out to Dave.
So like,
you just coached him last year.
So shout out Pastor Pop.
Shout out.
Call him. But I think maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, I was with Keith. Shout out Keith. He's the director of Next Level. He's like, yo, I need somebody to coach the 17 team. I'm like, all right, so let me and Dave do it. So our first year, we came in with like Chris. I think we had like Chris Green, Dave Cousins, Cam. DJ Belcher. We had Jordan Belcher. We had them. We didn't go play much. We went to like Hoop Group, a few other places. Then the following year, we got bigger. We went and got Zay. We got Keys.
Shout out Young Shifty.
Noe. You know what I'm saying? We got bigger in the past 5 years. Truck. So we got to start getting bigger. You know what I'm saying? Everybody started getting better. Different tournaments, and then we just stopped. And then that's when we started to pound going into them because all our guys got older.
Because now we at a point. I'm gonna be real with you. We at a point where it's like all we need is a sponsor because we handle everything else. You want good players, you want to win, we have that. We have that. Just need someone to believe in us. Show us the money. Not show us the money for us. Show us the money to expand the program for the kids. It's not about us. What we gonna do with a couple thousand? It's not gonna be life changing. Like let's just say somebody give us 10,000, right? Right now. We all grown, rent, bills, so 10,000. That's gonna be a good. That's a good little come up. It's cool, but it's not life altering. It's not. I'm creeping on 30. 10,000 ain't to me. It's gonna help a little bit. It's a little spending money, but it ain't going. It's not life. It's not like I'm moving on up. Like nah, I got a little bit of bread. So sponsorship money this is for us. This is not for us. It's literally to push the culture, not only for Westchester and just our brand, but push the culture for the kids. Let's just say we was to get our own EYBL team, Nike, our own Adidas circuit team, things like that. We have something now for these little elementary kids to look up to when they get older. We ask little kids now, like, yo, if a little kid is bullshit on the court or something like that, yo, you don't want to play for the Pound when you get older? They'll be like, yeah, and then they'll turn it around. That quick. That's why I tell them all the time, like the players, like, yo, y'all have no idea the influence y'all are having on these kids. Because one, we live in a culture now where, excuse my French, everything is riding, everything is glazing. That's what the kids say nowadays. Yeah. So, for them to come up to a Conlon and Brandon and Meach and say, yo, I want to be just like you. What did you do? Their friends will be like, yo, you glazing them. So they're afraid to do that. And then they're socially awkward nowadays. Even I don't know if it's COVID, them being in the house. I don't know if they don't know how to communicate. I don't know what it is. Yeah. But those factors make it harder, even more so, for them to know the impact that they have if we don't tell them, or unless they know it on their own. Because back then, listen, Big Shawnee and all them from White Plains, all these dudes that I looked up to when I was younger, I told them. It is what it is. These kids aren't doing that. So what motivation you having at that point? There's none. You just think whatever you're doing is fine, and it's not. It's not fine.
So in a sense, like the runs is like you got to earn this spot.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just earning it. Like you don't just earn it. Because I get up at 6 a.m. Nah, Fred, Lil, or myself needs to see you killing. And if it's not that, you're not getting invited.
if you're not at your respective, especially the high school, if you're not at your respective high schools and things of that nature, putting in pain,
how can we call you?
Quick to pack it.
Because Lil's going to tell me no on the phone, and that's what it is on the phone.
Quick to pack it. No. Whether it's high school, whether it's men's, quick to pack it.
If we don't show favoritism for Greenberg and Elmsford kids, it's clear as day. We don't care where you're from. As long as you putting in work and you doing what you got to do, you can get an invite. And the same goes for men. Do you know the funny part? We get more friction from the men's pound runs. We get more people hitting us up from there than the kids do. The kids ain't the ones that's in their feelings. It's the men. Yo, word, bro, you damn, so I can't get an invite? Damn, I must not be good no more. I mean, you probably not. You probably not.
If the pound runs was 10 years ago,
you probably would have made it. We can't even get jerseys on Ferris. How are we coming to the pound runs? If we're the best team on Ferris, right? We're the defending champs on Ferris, right? We're some might proclaim us to be the best team in Westchester, right? On the street ball level, right? If we're not getting jerseys in the local tournaments in the 914, how are you coming to our runs? But like I told you off camera, we're within the range of 26 and 29 and things of that nature. The 20, 21-year-olds, when do they decide to step in and start doing their own thing? Because if you can't get in at the pound runs, maybe you can get in at Joe Schmo runs. And then now, the whole Westchester is playing basketball. We don't got to worry about getting tight at the pound for not inviting you. Everybody's hooping now.
We got a few people that be hitting us talking about they hoop with them, bro. We do not care.
Yeah, we don't care. Like they'll hit us up and be like, "Yo, Leak, yo, that's crazy, bro. I can't get an invite. I just played with Brandon and Kylan at the park 2 days ago. What does that mean?"
Okay, that was great competition.
I did media for Master P before. You see me with Master P still? What does that mean?
Nothing.
Means nothing. We get those type of we get real passive aggressive threats. That's what I like to call it.
From people we love.
From people we really love. For real.
But that's where that's where it's gonna come.
But that always happens when you're like on the rise. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna find haters that's like it's not supporting, and it'd be the people that's the most closest to you, and that's the scary part.
Listen, I invite it with open arms. I invite hate with open arms. I love it. Cause I swear to God, I live by the mantra: if ain't nobody hating on you, that means you ain't doing something right. You ain't doing nothing. You ain't got no motion in you if ain't nobody hating.
Yeah, we want to get the pound runs to the point where it's every pro hooper coming to our runs in Westchester. Because we don't have that. We don't have no type of runs in Westchester.
Like Rico Hines in LA.
Yeah.
Rico Hines, C. Brickley.
You know how many Westchester pros is itching for C. Brickley to finally hit them up?
We can get every pro.
And I hate that because you want me to tell you why? It's like, all right, you're gonna no. It's not even only that. It's all right. It's all right. But it's because I know Fred. It's like, you know what? He gonna hold. I know Lil. I know Lee. They gonna hold it down for me. But yo, C. Brick. Oh my God! If I get he denied me. All right, it's all right. Maybe I'll work hard next time. Mm-hmm. But if you know what, I got Fred and Leaky and Lil in the back. Now you dub me too.
No, but why would guys do that to C. Brickley though? Because you want to know why? It's okay if I get denied at C. Brickley because you know what? He gets LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, and all of them in there. So you know what? That's cool. That's that. So now if you're not getting invited to the pound runs, what does that say about you as a basketball player? And we're on a smaller scale than them.
You ain't what are you talking about?
Or maybe this just isn't the run for you. Maybe you are a little good. But if we only want 15 people there, ask yourself, if you're a guard, are you better than me, Chandler, and Brandon?
No.
So how are you getting that invite?
You're not getting the fucking invite.
If there's only about 2 to 3 power forwards, right, in Westchester, right, and you're not better than Dink, you're not better than PJ, you're not better than those type of players, how are you getting an invite? Where do you fit in? That's another thing. People think it's just because we just don't rock with them. Nah, it's just how do you fit in?
And Kyle didn't even get to show y'all the real bag either.
We ain't gonna get into that, man. They're gonna see it.
Last summer he was on injury reserve. He was chilling. He came back in the chip, hit a few threes for us, and called it a night.
Damn near want us
So
to
you don't even know who Kylan really is right now. Be honest with you.
Will.
Well, he'll give you 50 any night.
You will.
Since he's not gonna say it, I'm.
And then for those that do know Kylan, y'all better tell him something.
There was on Ferris last year in the chip talking about back up. Are you stupid?
Right. Right. Y'all better get
to
it.
Hey, he's peeling. Yo, he's peeling from damn it. Ching.
He's shooting that from the church. It's the same move back.
Thank you, asshole. For 3.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
And he's coming with the handles too.
Yeah, bro. Come on, man.
So like, don't think, I gotta run him. I'm gonna run him off the 3-point line.
Oh, and one more thing, because I would never.
This is a good transition.
I don't want to leave this part out, because I know people like to pick out flaws and things like that. We have big men coming this summer.
Don't even get into that.
I won't say it, but I'll just say this: for those of y'all that think, the Pound just got guard play. Okay.
So wait, now this transitions off to. Alright.
I'll just put it out there like this: we got better.
They think you got But you
They think because Meech isn't there every game this summer, right?
But it's not about
It's sweet.
that, though.
No, to them it is. You want to know why? Because not for nothing, rightfully so. Meech is what you may call the hood hero.
shout out my nigga Meech, man.
So because he's the hood hero, right, and a lot of kids and a lot of adults like to see Meech play. He plays with a certain level of aggression and incitement. They don't want to miss out on seeing him. So when they don't see him, they think, wow, these other guys better match his energy. But what they fail to realize is as basketball players, they'll match the energy, but it'll be in a different way. And they don't understand that. See, the problem is, within Meech having ISO situations and all of that, we're probably one of the only teams that still played real basketball while having a lot of star power. And I think that's what's rare about the Pound. We have a lot of star power, but we still play real basketball.
So boom, this transitions perfectly. All right. And we had this off camera, all of us, right? So what are the expectations for this year? Because this is, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not saying this is make or break, but it's like, all right, everyone's gunning for you guys. Let's be real. Everyone's gunning for all you niggas, right? It's make or break.
Come get us. Holla at us. That's it.
And then not only that, you get, and then you get in the news, obviously, you about to coach the EYL team, obviously. So it's even more pressure on all of you guys. So how are you guys going to overcome expectations, and what's the plan?
What Bron said? I don't think it's no pressure.
It's pressure for people to come out here and see us play every day.
I don't think it's no pressure. So like
it's pressure for the people that's on Ferris duel
to go into the Dykeman thing. Like I don't see that's pressure either. Like me and him, we talk all the time. We've been trying to get in Dykeman. That was something that we've been trying to do. So it was like once EYL hit him, it was like, yo, I want y'all to, you know what I'm saying, take care of that. It was like, oh, it's up.
And we gonna take care of it.
It's up.
It's a lot in store.
It was one of those. It's like something you think about your whole life, and then it finally happens. Like you're prepared for it.
Because we want, like we talk about, we want to put on the 9, right?
Yeah.
Us getting in Dykeman is putting on the 9.
And it's like
a stamp.
Yeah.
It's so getting in the door, but it's like, all right, let's.
So like in the meeting, when he was in the meeting, somebody's like telling him, I'm glad y'all in it, because I know y'all going to bring these 914 that's nice out here.
Yeah, because not everybody brings 914 guys out to Dykeman as much as they should. I'm just gonna leave that there.
That's more pressure. When it comes to the city, I'm gonna say I think they scared us. Like they don't want.
No,
us
I think. Let's paraphrase because you're right. You're right on the nail. I think they scared of change.
That too.
Because, like I said off camera, I think personally, Dykeman and all these other tournaments is live at the Apollo. It's a dance. It's a show.
That even goes back to Fred showing the people at the meeting the Ferris joint and being like, oh, nah.
I showed them all the coaches at Dykeman. I showed them Ferris. They always tuned it like, oh, nah, this is
lit.
Crazy.
So now you're going to have city teams wanting to come up to Ferris.
Dykeman and them, they want you to score 100 points against each other, right? Up here, we score 40 to 50.
Playing defense.
But it's real basketball. I feel like we play real basketball.
The set zones.
Yeah, we do all of that. We play real basketball.
We take our pride in that, like how the city folk, they take pride in their handles and putting on the show. We take our pride in playing the right way, like
because if you get the crowd in the city to say, hey, you good for the day. You made. You put your chain probably done gave you a nickname for the night. You good.
Give me 3.
Up here, we don't have it like that. So we reach with our pride. We reach because we trying to get there. So we play with a different level of intensity and pride because no matter what we do up here, it's still going to get overshadowed by them. So I don't think necessarily, they got pride as far as, they're not scared of us. I think they're scared of the change we could bring.
So now I'm going to switch over to the players, right? So now what's the pressure that you guys have to bring as well? Because it's like the simple fact that, all right, this is year 2 for us, right? And we went, it's year 3 really, but we went blood last year. How is it, like, how can we overexceed that? So I want to hear your thing first, and I'm going to go to Colin.
How do we overexceed it?
How do we exceed, what you did last year, basically?
We just do the same thing. We just got, a new player. Well, not really a new player, but Kai's just gonna play more minutes. So it's the same. It's still the same thing. I'm going to go when I need to go. He's going to go when he needs to go. We're going to take turns or whatever. And we got new bigs, so, feel me? That's big for us, too. So, I mean, we're just going to have to do the same thing, really. I don't really see anything else.
Pressure-wise, I don't really think it's pressure. The only thing inside the lines, there's not going to be pressure. The only thing that we know from opening night that we didn't know from last year's opening night, I mean, I wasn't here for last year's opening night, but we know the type of crowd that was at that championship game is going to be coming very more often. That, you know, leading up to that championship game, like all these weeks, week 1, week 2, week 3, we, you know, now we're expecting, you know, heads everywhere. I don't know if it was like that opening night last year. Week one, week 2, like we just started gradually seeing more and more people come out.
Exponentially going up,
then
though.
You get to like week 5, now the barricades are starting to come out. Week 1, the barricades is
was not
out.
out.
We was growing up, the barricades didn't come out unless it was family day.
Yeah. So, like, I think Ferris got lit was when we had that finals rematch versus Gun Hill. That's when it got popping.
He had something to say about
That's when it got popping. That's when it got popping.
Shout out Gunhead, man.
That's when it got popping. And then after that, and then I think the chip was huge, but I think the biggest game was the semifinals against Yonkers.
Yes.
Because Yonkers brought
Brought
everybody
it out.
outside.
They brought it out.
They brought everybody outside.
I think that was the real, like, Westchester war right there.
That was a
You understand? Us growing up, like, especially when you from Greenberg and Elmsford, everything is Mount Vernon, Yonkers, New Rome. Everything. So for us to beat Team Yonkers and all of that on the stage like that, in front of Jadakiss and all of that was big time.
Jadakiss start fake going for us.
Yeah.
He wanted us to win.
He was
like,
going for
that's
us.
Kiss, literally.
At the end of the day, maybe the people in Yonkers, Jadakiss might be regular to them. He's not regular to us.
Not regular.
He's not regular to us. Like, yo, like, no funny. Like, Meech was like, yo, he could have cried when he said what he said to Meech. Like, Meech is in a different zone right now. He could have cried. He dapped me up and said, yo, Fred, yo, you good, baby? I could have cried off of that. Like, that was different for us. But people just don't understand. I think they see our antics and they see how braggadocious and confident we look on a natural basis. I think they think we take this for granted. We don't at all. We small town kids. We don't take none of this for granted. Like, all of this that we getting and all of that, we work for this, and now we just taking it so gracefully that we make it look easy.
So when the lights is bright, how we gonna perform?
We gonna
Especially opening the night, not only opening the night, Dykeman.
Listen, that's what we thrive off of. We so used to it now. It's like, it is what it is. We take it for what it is. It's regular to us now. I wouldn't want it no other way. I tell my friends, I tell people all the time, I am not big on being an underdog. I don't want to be an underdog. I want to be the big dog. Underdogs, you have a room for excuse when you lose. I don't want that. I want people laughing at us, high-fiving each other when we lose. I want people really excited when we lose. Because I love the way I act and the way we act when we win. I don't want it no other way. I don't.
What we pulling out this year? Helicopter? We got the fire
I
truck.
wish.
How do
I
we
wish.
exceed expectations? I'll answer that. We go undefeated and we win the chip.
Most definitely.
That's what we're going to do this year.
We lost
go
one game
undefeated
last year.
That's how we exceeded. We go undefeated.
And even that, when we lost that one game last year, like, if we, like, the crowd, like, we was really looking at people and we was just like,
That was low management night.
it was a low management night too, by the way. We had some people sitting out, a little banged up. And, people took that little, 5-point win or whatever they won by. And, they ran with that shit as if that was the championship. People was going on Instagram Live that night. It was a big thing. I saw bottles popping, corks in the air.
We can get another men's league team in the first and make noise with the young we got.
Yeah. Oh, we damn near, like, some people like to call it the Pound JV or type of shit like that. We got backup rosters.
We got young that can
compete.
hoop too.
That can still end off at least in a top 5 to 6 seed in Ferris out of 14 teams.
And they 19.
And they're 19, 20 years old, still in college. We can do that. We did it one night. One night, Meech, none of these niggas played. Maybe you played, maybe that was probably it. We still was about 20, 30 with the 18, 19-year-olds.
One kid straight out of high school. Shout out Sav.
Jay Sav.
Just won Rookie of the Year.
Nazareth College for a shot.
Yeah.
Staff, man.
And not for nothing, if you look at our whole roster, you got teams let's just say they have a budget, right? You got teams that have a budget, right? They got all these high-powered dudes, power conference D1 dudes, overseas dudes.
Yo, you funny,
you know what I'm saying? And we popping out with the D2, D3 guys, and we still beating them. We still rolling on these.
St. John's guys.
Yeah, you got
Straight out of
dudes
high
that got
school
movements
guys
behind them.
Yeah, like
You got all of that. And
They got a budget?
Oh, no, oh, listen, let me tell you something. Yo, the Ferris budget is crazy. You know what I'm saying? They got the CBA, the collective bargaining agreements now in Ferris now. It's really crazy, yeah, bro. They paying players, you know.
Repeating tax crazy.
You know, they got a lot of care packages out in all Ferris, man.
we went in chips with our big ass Jordan Belcher.
Yeah, shout out to J.O.
J.O., but he not really a big.
It's not a big.
He a guard. That's a big guard.
Yeah.
6'5". That's a big guard.
Love J.O.
PJ's a wing.
Yo, nice.
We're winning with wings and guards. But that's why I made it very imperative to say, we got bigs this year.
Because it's like, now what?
Now what do you do
with
now?
us?
See, we got people running around like chickens with their heads cut off now. They looking, you know, yo, we got to do something about the pound. We got to do something. Yo, we'll pay you.
We'll pay you.
What you mean you can't
Nah,
get
yeah,
here?
I didn't seen the.
You in Brooklyn? What you mean? We will pay for your Uber from Brooklyn to White Plains right now. Please just get here. The pound is losing their minds out here.
When you already up too.
Yeah, it's unfair.
Then he come and fuck the whole shit up.
And he come and lose and have 7.
You want to know what's funny?
Yo, yeah. Petty. Yo.
Bro, man.
Yo, you know what?
a lot
We
last
won
year, man.
every game in Ferris, right? That we won. We
Yeah.
won by 10 plus.
Yo, Yasu Petty, and I know exactly.
That ain't dominant, then. You know.
They bring
Yeah,
motherfuckers
no.
out here with movements behind
Yeah,
them, and they
like-
come into the jungle and they gain 7 points.
7 points, 4 points, like that. You know what I'm saying?
Come on,
We're not
bro.
saying too much.
Yo.
We just, you know.
This is not a joke.
If you realize, you know, with the motion we're going,
Yeah.
the narrative we're going with is, you know, we play real basketball
Yeah,
up
you'll
here.
get clamped.
Yeah, I operate and all that shit don't really mean
It's
much.
not gonna work out here.
Don't really mean too much out here.
Yo, y'all is
You're gonna have
yo.
to make an adjustment.
wait.
I'm just
All
saying.
that high dribbling.
All I'm gonna say is this:
crossover.
I know one thing's for sure, 2 things for certain, right? Whether it's, you know, expectations, you know, theories, whatever the case may be. I know one thing that's a fact for sure. The only time the pound, whether it's in the center or at Ferris, has ever lost a game is when we don't have our full team.
And when y'all lost, it didn't feel like a loss though.
That's the only time. Nobody has ever beat us with our full team.
We were supposed to win the center. What if the young too?
Oh yeah, shout out to my young. They still tried to hold it down. You know what I'm saying? Brandon was the only one that was there. At the end of the day, we had the center championship the day after Ferris. The hangovers, you know, we was popping a lot of Ace of Spades. Shout out EYL. Shout out EYL for the Ace of Spades package. You know what I'm saying? It was nice. We had a good night that night. You know what I'm saying?
When we win the chip, we're gonna know what to do with that.
Yeah, we'll know what to do.
Next
You know,
time.
this go around. You know, we
What's the bottle? Is
we
it
from the block. We
Moet?
ain't know what to do with the Ace of Spades.
What we doing? Moet next?
Yeah,
that-
no, we
we
was
need
treating
the Ace
it.
of Spades.
we do it.
treating it like Moscato or
we need
something.
the gold bottle.
Nah.
We ain't know what to do.
And
with
I
that.
had the gold bottle too.
You know what I'm
Sideline.
You know what I'm saying? People don't
What,
like
what are
that.
we doing this? What are we doing this
People
year?
don't like
We-
that. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
We're
listen.
going to manifest it. What are we doing this
Hey,
year?
How do you top Ace of Spades? That's tough.
Gotta stay with the Ace of
How do you
Spades.
top a fire truck?
How you
Shit
top
game.
that? That's tough.
Before the game, we went on a fire truck.
We're the only team in the whole tournament
Pop it, Aces.
to bring out T-shirts.
Listen, me and Meech wasn't
Facts.
good on that fire truck to be on.
Yeah, Meech and him, they stayed off the fire truck. They was worried about the game. They,
I mean,
I knew we was gonna win.
I said to
that
Colin,
shit,
I
man.
remember,
I
I
was
said,
staying
yo,
on
we
that
better
fire
win this
truck.
game, you know, because we put. I say we because we all did it together, but more so me because I accept these things.
yeah.
I put a lot on it, but not for nothing. I put a lot on it because I respect these dudes, and I think that they're nice like that. They deserve that shit. And they deserve a platform like this.
And people be like, they be like, yo, why they still talking about Ferris? When this been a thing though. It's just now it's social media. So like, Ferris, that's been winning a chip in Ferris meant something to people.
No, because
But
it pisses me off. I ain't
it's
gonna
just social media. But now since we won, It's social media. So
Oh my
it's
God,
out
y'all
there.
can't stop talking about winning Ferris. Oh my God, no, we can't.
Because it's social
Nah.
media. Got it. Because
Nah.
not for no, without social media back then, people used to talk about Ferris all the time.
But it was word of
KO used to win chips. They used to talk about that all the time.
But now with social media, it's made it bigger. We have a media crew now. We're doing this at a different scale. We won Ferris. This is what I will tell every coach. I don't care who won Ferris prior to me. I don't care. We won Ferris at its ultimate height. At its ultimate height. You have never seen a game at Ferris look like that at the championship past summer. I don't care what year you come from. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're the OGs. I don't care about none of that. Because when the old heads, that's about 60, 70 years old, that usually have a spot in the corner to sit in their beach chairs, no longer have that spot anymore, and you got kids climbing on top of gates, and you got men acting unusual, pushing the females out the way to get close to our bench, it's a big deal.
Nah, yeah, that was and then had to.
It's a big deal.
Yo, oh my God, look at Brandon. Oh my God, he's just. Some of them didn't even know basketball. Some of them didn't even know basketball. They're like, oh my God, me soccer field goal. They talk about field goal, and then all the like, yo, move the fuck out the way. Y'all don't know what the fuck going on. Move the fuck out the way.
Y'all, for real. Yo, they like, yo, we telling them, yo, it's the female.
And then
we don't care.
And then, oh my God, look at Fred having so much fun. Move, Mr. Move.
No, I'm not saying move, man. You know what I'm saying?
They talk about all the. There was grown men like.
Grown men like, nah, we like to the point
This
where
is
the
good.
cops, the cops is coming and they like move back and they're like, no. This is
Grown
Ferris and we
men.
here.
All the up front. All the girls back there talking about, oh my God, he field
Like,
goal,
damn, be a
touchdown.
gentleman.
Field goal, touchdown.
Like, be a gentleman. At least
about
put them
that.
on your shoulders or something like
That
that.
wheel is
God
basketball.
damn.
Just betting over, bet thousands of dollars on game. We seen that happen live.
Shout out Ferris Duel. You know what I'm saying? It gets a little crazy out there, you know what I'm saying?
It was.
It's
so,
the pound -9 every game.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, move. Get the out the way.
No, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We made a lot of people money, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, thank you for believing in us and, you know, putting your pockets on the line.
I didn't see.
I wish we can get a cut out of that,
You
but
hated us now that we won a chip. If we go back to back,
you're done. They better not let us touch that trophy this
and
year.
I'm not even the nigga that be on the camera. That's this.
You be in the cut like
You
Biggs.
know what I'm saying? Like, but if we win another one, you're fucked.
They can't, like, they said after this year, yo, they don't let the wrong team win this year. That's what I'm saying. That's at its height. And now they added more teams and all of that this year. The fix is in. We see what's happening. We're in the tougher conference this year. Like, we see everything. You know what I'm saying? They got to neutralize it somehow, right? They got to do something. They got to put a plan in order somehow, right? If we still overcome that and we still win this year, God bless. God bless. God
So
bless.
I'm gonna close this one. Like everyone, final thoughts.
Yeah. Listen. It's the pound. We're coming to dominate. It's either get out the way or get rolled over.
If you can't beat them, join them.
It is what it is, man. And we got the right to talk the way we talk. Because we've been beating you, niggas.
Lil?
It's the pound, like Fred said, but it's also bigger than basketball. Like, we also trying to take it to another level. So don't think we just over here thinking, oh, they just want to win men's leagues. Nah, we out here trying to start all types of stuff. Where it's just, we have the pound runs, we're trying to get the lady pound runs popping. We're trying to get everything popping, even with, what was you wanted to call it, Fred? Not Teen Summit? We're trying
Yeah,
to
we're
do
trying to get
Teen
teams,
Summit.
the pound teen summits, things for the community. We doing stuff for our community.
We're trying to bring the center back to what it is. And repping our
This ain't
our
about
brand.
basketball and
So
just
like,
clout.
it's not just about basketball. Everything we do, we train kids. We're trying to start everything. So everything you asked about, AU tournament, we trying to do it all. We trying to just take over the 9 and that anyway, school, all that. So we promote all businesses. We got people in our stuff that do other stuff besides ball. So the pound not just men's league. Like men's league shit is fun for fun. It started us. Now we trying to take it to another step.
We do it for our hoods and for all the kids, man. We do this for them. This shit is beyond us. It's beyond what we do at Ferris and Dykeman and all of that. We really try to uplift our community and give a voice to a community that's small and most people try to look over.
Like Kai said, earlier, we didn't have this stuff growing up. We had to go to DeLuca, Mazzaro's. The center wasn't always open for niggas to hoop every day. It wasn't. We had to go to the park or find somewhere to hoop. It didn't matter. So this platform is bigger than what everybody think it is. Way bigger. So
For me, it's just I just want to be the coach that I wish I had growing up. Just the older homie I wish I had growing up. I had older homies that looked out. Shout out Tyreek Johnson. But like, I just want to be, pay it forward. That's all. Shout out to Pound. Like, we're here to stay. This shit just starting. Like, if you think this is big now, you don't even have
and
no
you
idea.
think this is capping about it being bigger than big basketball? Whenever you see me and Fred, y'all always see a little homie with us. Whether it's shout out Caleb, that's his little man. Shout out Jordan, Brandon. We always got a little man with us anywhere we go. So if y'all think we capping, we're not. We always got a little man, little homie stay with us at all times. So it's not. It's bigger than what y'all think it is.
So Brandon, Colin.
First, I gotta shout out my man's Meech. I ain't gonna lie, that's my guy. One thing people but don't notice about Meech is he's a great teammate. Like you'll see it in the IG lives. Like he'll be on there talking and they'll try to go at one of the teammates and he'll be like, nah, we're not doing that. Feel me? He's a great teammate. And even in the game, if you ask for the ball, he's not a selfish person. He'll give you the ball and move out the way. But we believe in him, so we let him take most of that.
All y'all hitting on Meech, leave it alone. Y'all wasn't with him when he was in high school. Now y'all want to with him now. Nah, Meech is one of the loyal. I ain't gonna lie. He's loyal.
One of the only ones left.
We've been with Meech since he left high school. So that's why Meech is so. That's why everybody probably why he's so loyal, bro. We've been.
Yeah, well, Meech ain't go D1 fresh out of Mount Vernon, and y'all was on him. We took him in. It is what it is.
We've been with him.
And he played with us in the center, and we got the chip. Yep. And he had 40 in one of those games. Yep. So he been nice. He been
with us. He ain't going nowhere, man.
So been sleeping, and we've been woke. So
close y'all checkbook. Close that checkbook.
Close the checkbook.
He's not taking y'all money.
It's not happening.
Now all money is good money.
I want to say, for the people in Greenburgh, the young kids in Greenburgh, hit us up. You feel me? Fred, you hit Fred up. Fred probably hit me up, and I'll work out with y'all.
That's because I don't chase kids.
You just gotta take that first step and just hit us up. You feel me? Because we want everybody in Greenburgh to
want to get better.
To get better, whoever wants to get better can get better. Just hit us up, man. We ready to work. I'm just talking about me personally. From my for sure.
For a fact, bro. Like he was saying though, from a basketball standpoint, it's natural that this summer's gonna look a little different without Meech because of the show that he is and the show he brings to the table. So for real, shout out Meech because he's doing things that is gonna be bigger than Ferris, bigger than what he about to do. Has he could kiss Ferris goodbye and he'll be straight. You feel me? He about to do bigger and better things, and as he should. He is special talent. So that's gonna be up to me and B to take care of that and take care of our team and push us forward. But that's just basketball. One thing I could say for real, when I step back and I look at the Pound and what Fred and Lil and Leaky's doing, it's not about them. It's about the youth, and everything they do is for the youth to give them something that all of us we didn't have growing up. I didn't have the Pound growing up, and I wasn't. I grew up in playing a lot of basketball in the city, but even looking at the basketball in the towns, it wasn't there. There wasn't that guy who's grabbing all these youngins to get them on to a gym, grabbing them, taking them to practice, making sure they're in the gym, making sure they doing the right things in the classroom. Really taking them in to breed them as men, not even just ball players. That's one thing I could say from just looking from the outside, that these dudes care, and that's the Pound for real. That's the Pound. They care. They want to make these young men into men for real, not just the best basketball players. But basketball ain't gonna be there for everybody. But how far can you really take this basketball thing? How serious do you want it? Because we all been through it. college basketball player, he's seen it. College basketball player, and they've all seen it and seen what it takes. And that's really the main thing. That's the pound. Shout out to them.
I don't really talk about my hoop. So like
We know you, bro.
you know what I'm saying? I was hooping. So like I understand the game. I've been around the game. I've been around these guys for the longest. Hoop with these guys for the longest. So like I'm not really like I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking. So like when kids buy in. Kids buy in with me. Kids and my little guys will tell you they hate me. Brandon and J.O. they hate me, bro. But at the end of the day, they love me because J.O. he hear me all the time like, yo, Lil, I appreciate you. Like J.O. who he is now, we put that work in. Like I don't let him stop. Because I know when I knew, everybody used to tell me when I was growing up, yo, Lil, you drop weight, you're going to be different. That's who J.O. is. J.O. is, J.O., you drop all that weight, which he did, he's different.
He was
he's different.
J.O. did what me and Lil
wasn't trying to do. And my dad had me in the gym every day. But I was just, you know what I'm saying? But J.O., like, he's the one where everybody's like, yo, bro, you lose weight, you're the one.
Y'all see this summer, don't worry.
You're the one. So it's like, yeah, we just trying to, you know what I'm saying, build the community, bro. Greenberg Elmsford. Shit, the whole 914, really. Trying to build it up.
Really need me another one of these.
Damn, that look beautiful. Oh my God.
Another one of these.
Jesus.
Shout out the pound, man.
You know what it is.
It's not gonna stop.
Never.
It's not gonna stop.
Shout out to the pound.
Hottest ticket in town.
Good morning.
Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. All their links will be in the description. This was a wonderful conversation.
This is a great conversation, man.
I appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys Tuesday. Signing out.
Holla.
Peace.